A very good morning to everyone present here. Namaskar. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, eminent speakers, parents, educators, and psychologists joining us virtually today for the virtual national seminar on autism across the spectrum, awareness and understanding, organized under the aegis of prestigious Speakingcube Online Mental Health Consulting Foundation. I am Anupa Carey, consultant psychologist, and it is my absolute honor to serve you as your host for this transformative event. Today, we come together to foster awareness, empathy, and actionable understanding of autism spectrum disorders, celebrating neurodiversity while equipping ourselves with knowledge to support our children, families, and communities. So before we dive in, I request you all to please keep your mics muted for clarity. Let's make this session interactive and inspiring. Now, setting the stage for our seminar, please welcome our visionary leader, Dr. Deepika Chamoli Shahi, psychologist and hypnotherapist, founder and director of Speakingcube, academic consultant at Southern New Hampshire and St. Leo University, USA, and our esteemed chairperson. Dr. Deepika Chamoli Shahi, please.
Thank you, Ms. Anupa, for handing over the forum. A very refreshing
We are not audible.
morning, everyone. Am I audible? A very refreshing good morning, everyone. And let's start with bowing down to our own self, the Shakti within. So I request everybody to please come to the prayer position and just invoke the life force within. Sarva Mangal Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namastute Sharana Gaddi Nat Paritra Naya Parayani Sarasyati Hare Devi Narayani Namastute. Bless us all. So with this, let's start with the introduction of Speakingcube. So let me share the screen and give a brief overview of what we do. I hope my screen is visible. It's visible?
Yes.
Yes. So starting with the introduction of the organization. So organization Speakingcube, Online Mental Health Consulting Foundation, and I am Dr. Deepika Chamoli Shahi, the founder and director of Speakingcube Online Mental Health Consulting Foundation, a psychologist and a clinical hypnotherapist by profession, an author by passion, and human being that serves humanity by interest. Now we work under the advisory of Professor Dr. Rita Kumar, who's a senior professor from Amity University, Noida, Dr. Colonel Chetan Sharda, who is a diabetologist by profession and HOD critical care. The aim of Speakingcube is to be the world-class promotive, preventive, and curative mental health service provider. These are the 4 objectives of Speakingcube that we work for: to enhance mental health at the global level through preventive, promotive, and curative services, to spread awareness regarding the significance of mental health through promotive services, to promote academic and research activities through conferences, seminars, webinars, and workshops, to cover mental health services from pregnancy till eternity, and to make mental health services accessible to all through online mode. Now, there are 2 major verticals of Speakingcube: online mental health consulting services, wherein we provide consulting services to our clients; perinatal mental health vertical, wherein we provide online perinatal mental health services during pregnancy and post-pregnancy; and there is academic and research vertical, in which we provide internships to aspiring psychologists and counselors, certifications to aspiring mental health professionals, conferences, webinars, seminars, workshops are being conducted to update the existing knowledge of the professionals as well as students. These are the certifications and diplomas that we run under the aegis of Speakingcube. Online certificate course in psychotherapies, which is 45 hours and spread over 3 months. Online certificate course in perinatal mental health, 45 hours spread over 3 months, and this is AICTE approved, and we run it in collaboration with BS Negi College, Dehradun. Online diploma course in trauma and grief management, which is 60 hours over 4.5 months. And again, this is AICTE approved, and we run along with BS Negi College. Online diploma in cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy, which is 60 hours and run over 4.5 months. We have done programs with these universities: Aligarh Muslim University, Amity University, Noida, Shridev Suman University, Ansal University, Uttaranchal University, Graphic Era University, Anna Malai University, BS Negi College, DWT College, Lovely Professional University, and the list is long. We have various esteemed organizations as our partners, and we have signed MOUs with Shridev Suman University, which is State University of Uttarakhand, and it has 200 colleges within it. Graphic Era University, Dehradun, Lovely Professional University, Punjab, Uttaranchal University, Dehradun, BS Negi College, Dehradun, and there are esteemed NGOs like SPECS, which is a very old NGO from Uttarakhand, Smart Circuit, Himalayan Tribal Buddhist Society from Kinnor, Sahyog Society, DNA Laboratory, and Department of Psychology, Shulini University. These are this is the glimpse of various programs that we have done with our partner organizations in the year 25. And this was our recent project, which we have just conducted on 27th and 28th of March, which was international conference. Now, about the seminar, I request our advisor, Dr. Rita Kumar, to please throw some light on the aims and objectives of seminar. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for handing over the forum. I would like to tell everyone present here that why we are talking about autism, and that is in national level seminar, because as I was reading one study which has been published in 2023, which says that 1 child out of 100 have autism. That is below the age of 10 years. And I think everybody present here can understand what a big number of autistic children are there. And as we have done one project with SPECS also, then there we found that every autistic child have one special talent or a skill which is required to be enhanced. So that is why this national seminar has been initiated, which is titled as Autism Across the Spectrum, Awareness and Understanding. Because our purpose is to spread awareness regarding autism. And if we are aware, only then we will be able to manage it and handle the things in a better manner. The sub-themes of the seminar are early identification and diagnosis of autism, which is very important. Intervention strategies and therapeutic approaches, inclusive education and classroom practices, mental health and emotional well-being in autism, family support, parenting and caregiver perspectives, communication, language and social skills development, role of technology and assistive tools in autism, care, then vocational training and life skill for individuals with autism, or any theme related to special education. The aim of this conference is to promote awareness, understanding, and inclusive practices related to autism by bringing together the researchers, professionals, caregivers, and individuals to share the knowledge and experiences. And it is to be informed to everyone here that you will be having many lectures and workshops in the plenary session also, and experts have been invited to conduct the session on autism. Objectives are to enhance understanding of autism through academic discussion and real-life perspectives, to provide a platform for research and professionals to present and exchange their ideas on autism-related themes, to explore effective interventions, strategies, inclusive practices, and supportive system for individuals with autism. Thank you so much to all of you for being the part of this seminar, and I really thank to all the speakers who will be taking sessions, because I am expecting and hoping that you will be creating a very good effect on the audience, all the people present here. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, Rita ma'am. Over to you, Anupa.
Thank you, Rita ma'am. And thank you, Dr. Deepika, for present for one second. Thank you, Dr. Deepika, and thank you, Dr. Rita, for telling us about our Speakingcube and about the autism. Now, it's my privilege to call our guest of honor, Dr. Brij Mohan Sharma, founder and director, SPECS, Society of Pollution and Environmental Conservation Scientists, Dehradun. He will share his insights on the topic societal awareness and mental health support for autism. Dr. Brij Mohan Sharma, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anupa. Respected Dr. Rita Kumar, Dr. Deepika Chamoli, Dr. Tamanna, all the participants. मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस में जो दो लोगों से बहुत कुछ सीखा है, एक तो स्पीकिंग क्यूब से और एक अपने बेटे से, क्योंकि मेरा बेटा जो है बॉर्डरलाइन केस है, तो बहुत सारी चीजें सीखने को मिली। और स्पीकिंग क्यूब और स्पेक्स ने एक करिकुलम भी डिजाइन किया है जो कि पब्लिश हो चुका है, और उस प्रोसेस में मैंने कुछ चीजें ऑब्जर्व की हैं। वो ऑब्जर्वेशन मैं आप सबके साथ शेयर। नंबर एक, तो जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, ऐसे बच्चों के स्कूल्स हैं, चाहे स्पेशल स्कूल्स हैं, चाहे कुछ है, वो भी एक तरह के जो है ना एक्सटेंडेड बॉडीज हैं दूसरे स्कूल्स की। वो सब पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, उसको सिखाना नहीं चाहते। सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत है घर के लोग भी उसको पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, उसको सिखाना नहीं चाहते। और इस पूरे प्रोसेस में हो क्या रहा है कि ये जो बच्चे हैं, वैसे तो हर बच्चा कॉपी करता है, यही बच्चे कॉपी नहीं करते, हर बच्चा कॉपी करता है। हम बड़े जो हैं, जो गलतियां करते हैं, उनको ये कॉपी कर देते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक छोटी सी बात मैं बताता हूँ कि एक बच्ची हमारे यहाँ रहने के लिए आई, तो वो क्या करती थी कि दूध में से मलाई निकाल देती थी। मेरा बेटा दूध में मलाई पीता था आराम से, लेकिन जब उसने देखा कि मेरे से बड़ी है और ये मलाई निकाल दी है, तो उसने उसका मतलब सोचा कि इसको शायद मलाई को निकालना ही नहीं होता है। सेकंड, वो ग्रीन वेजिटेबल्स नहीं खाती थी और टमाटर नहीं खाती थी, तो वो दाल में से टमाटर निकाल देती थी। अब इस बच्चे ने भी उसको कॉपी कर लिया। हमें इससे बाहर आने में, जबकि वो आप सुन के ताज्जुब होगा, वो लौकी तुरई से लेके सब चीजें आज भी खाता है और पहले भी खाता, लेकिन इसके साथ हमें लगा कि हमें जो बड़ों की आदतें हैं, जो बड़े अपनी आदतों को रिजिड कर लेते हैं, अगर ऐसे लोगों के साथ इन बच्चों को रखा जाएगा तो ये उनकी बैड हैबिट सीख लेंगे। बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने अपने बेटे के साथ ऑब्जर्व की। मैं छोटी सी एग्जांपल बताता हूँ कि मैं बहुत डरता था नहाने के समय में, बड़ा होने के बावजूद भी, क्योंकि मेरी आंख में पानी जाता था। लेकिन आपको सुन के ताज्जुब होगा, मैंने अपने बेटे से सीखा है कि जब मैं उसके सिर पे पानी डालता था तो वो अपनी गर्दन नीची कर लेता था, उसकी आंख में कभी पानी नहीं जाता था और कभी साबुन नहीं जाती। तो मैं ये चीज मैंने अपने बेटे से सीखी है, ये उसे किसी ने सिखाई नहीं, ये उसका अपना इंस्टिंक्ट था। इसी तरह से फैमिली जो है, जितने भी हम जो भी बच्चे से अपेक्षा करते हैं, अगर हम वैसा ही काम अपने घर में करें, ऐसे ही टीचर्स का है। मैं आपको बताऊं, टीचर्स भी जो उसको पढ़ा रहे हैं या पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, वो बच्चा उस चीज के लिए बना नहीं है अगर बाई को, हर बच्चा, चाहे वो ऑटिस्टिक है चाहे कोई भी है, चाहे हम बच्चे को ना क्लास की तरह ट्रीट करते हैं, इंडिविजुअल की तरह ट्रीट। अगर हम बच्चे को इंडिविजुअल की तरह ट्रीट करें तो मुझे लगता है कि हम इनको बहुत ज्यादा अपने साथ जोड़ पाए। एक चीज और भी मैंने अपने बच्चे के साथ, ऐसे बच्चों के साथ की है, ना तो समाज ना फैमिली इनको इन्वॉल्व ही नहीं करना चाहता है अपने घर में, घर की एक्टिविटीज में, फैमिली फंक्शंस में और कहीं जाने पे और इवन इंट्रोड्यूस कराने में दिक्कत होती है पेरेंट्स को ऐसे अपने बच्चे को। तो ये इसे बैड है, क्योंकि जितना हम उसका सोशलाइजेशन करेंगे इतना ही वो बेहतर होगा और बेहतर इम्प्रूवमेंट उसमें आएगा। हम ऐसे बच्चों को बिल्कुल अलग कर देते हैं। मान लीजिए सब्जियां काट रहे हैं तो हम उसको उसमें पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए इनवाइट ही नहीं करते। हम मान लीजिए कपड़े धो रहे हैं, हम उसे इनवाइट ही नहीं करते, उसको अलग करके अलग रख देते हैं। अगर हम इन सब चीजों में उसे बचपन से अगर उसको इन्वॉल्व करते चले जाएं, जो कि मैंने अपने इस प्रोसेस में सीखा, तो ये बच्चे जो है ना बहुत अच्छे, मतलब जो इनको आप कहते हैं ना ये सब ठीक ठाक हैं, उनसे बहुत ज्यादा शार्प, बहुत ज्यादा समझदार और बहुत ज्यादा एक्यूरेट होते हैं। मैं एक्यूरेट शब्द को ज्यादा इस्तेमाल करना चाहता हूँ कि मुझे बड़े होने तक भी बड़ी चादर को तय करना नहीं आता, लेकिन मेरा बच्चा 5 साल में अब अपनी माँ को देख के उस चादर को ठीक से तय करना सीख गया, हाउस कीपिंग करना सीख गया। और ये बहुत पर्टिकुलर बच्चे होते हैं, मैं आपको बताऊं, उसको जो चीज, जैसे माँ ने कोई चीज जहां रखी है ना, उसको ये उसके दिमाग में है कि वो चीज वहीं रखनी। हम अक्सर उसके साथ खेलते थे कि हम चीजों को डिस्प्लेस कर देते थे। वो आता था, आने के बाद स्कूल से पहले सब चीजों को ठीक से लगाएगा, लगाने के बाद जो है फिर अपना बाकी का काम करेगा। उसका जो पैटर्न है, जो मैंने डॉक्टर दीपिका से ये सीखा था कि ये बच्चे पैटर्न को फॉलो करते हैं। तो अगर हम उसका पॉजिटिव पैटर्न बनाते हैं, पॉजिटिव चीजों को करते हैं, लेकिन इन पैटर्न को परमानेंट ना होने दें प्लीज, इनको ब्रेक करते रहे। अगर इन पैटर्न को परमानेंट करेंगे तो वो रिजिड हो जाएगा और वो रिजेक्ट करेगा। आप उसको हफ्ते में उस पैटर्न को ब्रेक कर दीजिए, तोड़ दीजिए उस पैटर्न को। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वो सुबह उठा और सुबह उठने के बाद आपने उसको हैबिट डाली कि आप टॉयलेट जाते हो, टॉयलेट जाने के बाद आप जो है ब्रश करते हो, उसके बाद नहाते हो, उसके बाद आप ब्रेकफास्ट। अगर इस पैटर्न को हम ब्रेक करते हैं, इस पैटर्न को मैंने जो ब्रेक किया उसको ऐसे किया कि मैं उसको एक दिन उसको वॉक कराने ले जाता हूँ सुबह को, है ना, एक दिन सीधा बाथरूम ले जा लेता हूँ, एक दिन और कुछ नहीं है गार्डनिंग करा लेता हूँ। तो उसको तीसरे चौथे दिन ही मैंने पैटर्न को ब्रेक करना शुरू किया। तो पैटर्न ब्रेक करने का एक पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट जो मैंने इस बच्चे में देखा, आई एम सो सॉरी, आप सब लोग जो है ना साइकोलॉजी के ज्ञान के सागर हैं, लेकिन मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस आपके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ कि जो मैं अपने बच्चे के साथ जिससे बहुत एक और चीज देखने में आई कि इस तरह के जितने बच्चे हैं, मैं स्कूल्स में जाके दिए, वो वेट गेन कर लेते हैं। वेट गेन इसलिए कर लेते हैं या तो हम मोबाइल पकड़ाते हैं, और हम एक तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो गई है घरों में कि बिस्तर परमानेंट बिछा हुआ है। ऐसा नहीं होता कि सुबह हम सो के उठते हैं और हम बिस्तर को समेट देते हैं, ये बहुत गलत है। और हमारी जो लाइफ स्टाइल में बीमारियों का सबसे बड़ा घर है हमारा बेडरूम। तो मैंने जब ये देखा कि बेटा जो है वेट गेन करने लगा, तो मैंने जो है ना बहुत कुछ कोशिश की कि कोई कोच मिल जाए कोई, लेकिन इन बच्चों पे कोई मेहनत नहीं करना चाहता। अल्टीमेटली मैंने ही इसका बीड़ा उठाया और हम 1 घंटा उसको ग्राउंड में सुबह ले जाने लगे, 1 घंटा सामने ले जाने लगे, तो उसकी पर्सनैलिटी में फर्क आता। मैं आपको बताऊं, 1 महीने बाद वो उसका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल, उसको मतलब आप सुन के ताज्जुब होगा, उसको एयरपोर्ट में जाना है, आपसे पूछेगा भी नहीं, आप ढूंढोगे कहाँ गया, तो पता लगा वो टॉयलेट होके आ गया। वो कभी फीमेल टॉयलेट में नहीं गया आज तक, कभी फीमेल, मुझे नहीं पता कि वो क्या ऑब्जर्व करता है और क्या चीजें उसको ये खाना से लेके सब चीजों में ही इंडिपेंडेंट, 100% इंडिपेंडेंट है। तो अगर मेरा ये कहना है पेरेंट्स को भी और टीचर्स को, कृपया इनको सिखाने की कोशिश ना करें, इनके लिए माहौल बनाएं। इनके लिए माहौल बनाएंगे तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं बताऊं, उसकी मदर जो है मटर सीट, हम जब ये खाली होता, और तीसरा है इनका जो काम करने का जो आवर्स है, मिनिमम 14 आवर्स इनके जो है ना, वरना ये अपनी कोई एक्टिविटी डेवलप कर लेगा और जो ना आपको अच्छी लगेगी ना उसके लिए अच्छी। मैं तो जाड़ों में कई बार ऐसे इसको ऐसा कर देता था कि मटर के 5 किलो मटर ला के रख दिया उसके सामने कि चल मटर छील लेते हैं। तो मैं बहुत धीरे धीरे मटर छील रहा हूँ, वो मटर छील छाल के उसने करके और छिलके अपना डस्टबिन में डाले और वो सब चीजें। बाद में मुझे लगा यार ये और काम बच गया, तो उसको छिलके को भी पील ऑफ कराना शुरू कर दिया, जिससे उसकी बहुत अच्छी सब्जी बनती है। तो सैंडविच बनाना है तो मैं सैंडविच नहीं बनाता, मैं उसको बोलता यार सैंडविच बना ले यार, दोनों खा लेंगे। तो उस फॉर्मेट में चीजों को आटा गूंदने से लेके दालों को अलग करने से लेके उसको हर चीज जो है ना कोशिश करना है कि उसको इन्वॉल्व करें। आप अगर उसको आलू छीलना है ना, पीलो करना है, आलू दे दो ना, छिलका दे दो ना, हाथ कटेगा, एक आध बार कटेगा, बाकी नहीं कटने वाला उसका। वो बहुत सिंसियर है ऐसे बच्चे, हमसे ज्यादा हम लापरवाह ज्यादा होते हैं, वो सिंसियर। तो मेरा जो इन सब चीजों को अब तक का मैंने सीखा है स्पीकिंग क्यूब से, डॉक्टर रीता से और दीपिका से, और ये स्नेहा से भी सीखने को मिल जाता है जो है ना। तो वो यही सीखा है कि ऐसे बच्चे पे आप अगर काम करेंगे तो नॉर्मल बच्चे से ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा ये आपको। मैं आपको आप उसे सोशलाइजेशन में, हाँ कोई फैमिली अगर आप पसंद नहीं करते कि आपका बच्चा उनके यहाँ है, तो मैं तो नहीं जाता, मैं उसको फैमिली में ही जाना पसंद नहीं करता, जो हमारे बच्चों को पसंद नहीं करता सीधा। तो सोशलाइजेशन उसका खूब करिए, बाजार ले जाइए, उसको ठेली पे चाट खिलाइए से लेके, और उसको सब्जियां चूज करने के लिए सब्जी की दुकान में एक डलिया दे दीजिए कि अपनी पसंद की सब्जी और फ्रूट चुन ले। उनको उनको जो है दाल की, जैसे हमारे यहाँ वो आती है दीदी खाना बनाने के लिए, तो वो सीधा बोलते हैं आराध्य कौन सी दाल बनानी है, उसे पता है कहाँ दालें रखी हैं, तो उनमें से वो उसमें से छांट लेगा। उसकी चॉइस को इम्प्रूव करने की, आइसक्रीम में उसकी चॉइस इम्प्रूव करने की कोशिश कीजिए। तो अगर हम इस तरह की चीजें करेंगे जो है मेरे को लगता है, तो इन बच्चों को अपने नजदीक लाना बहुत आसान। और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट, इस तरह के सारे बच्चों को फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज कराइए, इनका पर्सनैलिटी बदल जाएगा, आप खुद ये बात को महसूस करेंगे। और छोटी छोटी चीजों को जो है ना, वो आप लाड नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप लाड नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप बेसिकली उसको एक नई चीज सिखाने से दूर कर। तो मेरा जितने लोग भी मेरे को सुन रहे हैं या टीचर, कृपया इनको मत पढ़ाइए, एक सिखाने का एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करिए, एक फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज बिल्कुल कराइए, सोशलाइजेशन खूब कराइए, खूब ले जाइए मॉल में, और इनमें इनका कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ेगा। इन पे एस्केलेटर पे मैं अभी आज की डेट में थोड़ा सा घबरा जाता हूँ, वो इतना कॉन्फिडेंटली जाता है ना, वो पूछिए मतलब वो जो है कपड़े सुखाने से लेके कपड़े धोने तक में इन्वॉल्व करिए, सब्जियां काटने में इन्वॉल्व, हाउस कीपिंग में इन्वॉल्व करिए, हर चीज में इन्वॉल्व करिए, जैसे आप अपने बच्चे को नॉर्मल बच्चे को नहीं करते हैं आज की डेट में देखा जाए तो नहीं। और अपनी कोई भी बैड हैबिट अगर आपको पता, आप सबसे पहले आप अपनी हैबिट्स लिख लीजिए कि जो कोई बड़ा पसंद नहीं करता है, उनको इन बच्चों के सामने मत प्लीज, वो सीख लेगा। और फिर आप कहोगे ये मलाई नहीं खा रहा, ये टमाटर नहीं खा रहा, ये ग्रीन वेजिटेबल नहीं खा रहा, इसलिए नहीं खा रहा क्योंकि
ब्रिज यू आर ऑन म्यूट, आप म्यूट पर हैं, म्यूट हो गए बाय मिस्टेक।
हाँ, तो अपनी कोई भी ऐसी इच्छा जो उसके लिए अच्छी है, आपको पसंद नहीं है, सिर्फ पसंद नहीं है, तो उसके सामने जाहिर मत करिए। वो सुनते हैं, सब चीजें कॉपी करते हैं, है ना, और सब चीजें खिलाइए, फिजिकल कराइए, उसको सब चीजें सिखाइए, इन्वॉल्व करिए हर चीज में। हम तो यहाँ तक कर लेते हैं, अपने मैंने 2 पैंट शर्ट रखी है उसके कि आराधे में कौन सी पहनूं, तक हम उससे पूछ लेते हैं चॉइस की, आपकी चॉइस का। माँ उसकी पूछ लेती है बेटा मैं कौन सा सूट पहनूं, कौन सा साड़ी पहनूं, मेरे को लाके देगा तो इन्वॉल्व करिए थे उसको, अपना दोस्त बनाइए, फ्रेंड बनाइए। बहुत कठिन काम नहीं है, मेरे को लगता है कि अभी हम लोगों ने एक नया वेंचर स्टार्ट किया है। हम लोग क्योंकि 1 साल बाद इस आराधना के लिए कुछ नहीं है, मैं आपको बताऊं कुछ नहीं है देहरादून। हमने एक स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट किया है, हम स्प्राउट ऑर्गेनिक वीट लिया है, उसको स्प्राउट किया है और उसको घराट में पिसाया, और उस आटे को हम एक एज ए प्रोडक्ट, प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट लेके आ रहे हैं, है ना, क्योंकि ये 100% डाइजेस्टिव है अगर स्प्राउट हो जाता है। दूसरा ये है कि इसमें कोई इम्प्योरिटी नहीं है, कोई केमिकल नहीं है। तो ये पहला प्रोडक्ट हमारा जो है स्पीकिंग और स्पेक्स का आ जाएगा, और ये बहुत जल्दी हम इसको लॉन्च करने वाले हैं ऑनलाइन। और इसी तरह से हम हर 6 महीने में एक नया प्रोडक्ट स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं, जिससे कि एक साल में उसके बाद 4-5 प्रोडक्ट्स हों आराध्य के पास। और इस पूरे प्रोसेस में पहला प्रोडक्ट हम लेके आ गए हैं जिसमें हमने टेस्टिंग और ये सब चीजें की है। उसमें आराध्य को पूरा इन्वॉल्व, गेहूं लाने से लेके उसको पिसाने तक, उसको पैकिंग तक, उसके ऊपर लेबलिंग तक, हर उसमें उसको इन्वॉल्व किया। हमने हमने अगर एक लेबल लगाया है तो उसने 10 लेबल लगा के हमारे हाथ में दे दिया कि यार तुम क्या धीरे धीरे काम कर रहे हो, नालायकी। और एक चीज और भी है, ऐसी ऑटिस्टिक की बहुत एग्जांपल है। मैं तो हनुमान जी को भी ऑटिस्टिक मानता हूँ। अगर हनुमान जी हमेशा फोकस थे, पता ही नहीं था क्या करना था क्या है, राम का नेतृत्व आया है ना, तो जामवंत ने सलाह दे दी कि भाई तेरे पास तो बहुत ताकत है। तो ये ऐसे ही हनुमान है, अगर हम इनको ठीक से करेंगे तो ये लंका भी फतेह कर लेंगे और आपके दिल को भी फतेह। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू।
Sneha, I request you to please share the photos.
Yes.
So we would like to show you what Aradhya has done under the guidance of Dr. Bridge, his father. And I was amazed.
Yeah.
When I saw these puzzles, I was amazed.
Wonderful.
See,
Wonderful.
and this was done 2 years ago. And this is Sneham project for special children. We try to enhance different functions using different activities which they enjoy. Commendable work, Dr. Bridge. Commendable.
इसमें डॉक्टर दीपिका, मेरा 2 सुझाव हैं। एक तो ये है, आप जितने भी इंटर्न साइकोलॉजी के आते हैं, मेरा पहले भी एक बार रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि एक हम ऐसी कैंपेन चलाते हैं कि हर एक बच्चा हफ्ते में ऐसे किसी बच्चे के पास 2 घंटे जो है जाए और उसके साथ काम करे। दूसरा मेरा ये कहना है कि हम क्यों ना डॉक्टर स्पीकिंग और स्पेक्स मिलके एक ऐप बनाते हैं, मार्केटिंग ऐप बनाते हैं, जिसमें अगर कोई भी इस तरह का बच्चा कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाता है तो हम उसको फ्री स्पेस देते हैं और वो उसमें से मार्केटिंग कर सके। तो एक ऐसे ही बच्चों का एक मार्केटिंग हब क्रिएट करने की बात है। उसके बारे में हम सब मिलके बात भी कर लेंगे और मुझे लगता है हमें करना चाहिए।
Wonderful idea, Dr. Bridge. Very nice.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you.
And your ideas and your experiences were so enriching. I think the psychologists who are reading it and studying it theoretically would have learned so many things with your experience. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you, Dr. Deep. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Over
so
to you,
much, sir.
Sneha.
Thank you so much, sir. आपको सुना तो हमेशा it is a delight. So thank you so much for giving us your time and coming here. Now it is our great privilege to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Anil Jaggi sir, who is a global fellow at the Schalberg Global Seminar, Japan-India Transformative Technology Network, CEO Conscious Ventures, Society for Inclusive Development.
Yeah.
Sir, we are honored to have you here today.
This is very challenging, as I mentioned, that every minute I think that we have one child born with autism, that is only in India, and spectrum is also there, like that from starting at mild to severe. So spectrum may every child with autism is different, right? Their attributes are different, their behavior is different, their challenges are different, their solutions are also very different. So, and let's see that हम लोग कैसे करते हैं. So I know that all of you are very senior people, senior professionals here, but still I'm trying to figure out थोड़ा सा मैं इसको define करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ in my own language. What exactly is autism? As it is mentioned that autism is not a disease or illness, right? So normally people or parents sometimes that initially they think कि ये सब कोई बीमारी है, इसका कोई medical इलाज हो जाएगा, but it is not any disease or illness. It's simply a different way that brain develop and process information, right? ASD is a neurodevelopment condition that affects how people communicate, interact socially, and process information. And that's why it's called the spectrum. And because each person, each child born with the autism is very different, and their experience is very different, ranging from mild to significant support needs, support they need. So इसमें जो challenge है, that is, that communication, social interaction, their behavior, these are the main challenge. When it comes to the communication, some of the children coming with autism, they are verbal, and some of them are not non-verbal. And how people speak, कि वो कैसे समझते हैं एक दूसरे की बात, how they express themselves, that is also very very different. Social interaction, जैसे डॉक्टर ब्रिजमोहन ने बताया कि उनका बच्चा जो है किस तरीके से अलग अलग तरीके से हैंडल कर रहा है सिचुएशन को, एंड पेरेंट्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट हाउ योर चाइल्ड इज इंटरेक्टिंग एंड हाउ ही इज, यू डोंट हैव टू ट्रीट एवरी चाइल्ड इन द सेम वे. घर में दो बच्चे होते हैं, उनको भी हम लोग अलग अलग तरीके से डील करते हैं. तो ये ऑटिज्म बच्चे जो हैं, इनका कुछ चैलेंज जो है वो अलग है. इनका सोशल इंटरेक्शन इज ऑल्सो वेरी डिफरेंट. सो वी हैव टू बिल्डिंग रिलेशनशिप विद देम. इट टेक्स टाइम, right? Their behavior is different. Pattern of their thinking is also different. Process of information is very different. Like every computer has a different processing, processing unit. So likewise, their brain is also very different. So उनको brain को भी जैसे processing होती है, we have to respect that. We have to understand that their processing of information, processing of the visuals, what they capture. आप मार्केट में जा रहे हैं, मैं मार्केट में जा रहा हूँ, आपका देखने का तरीका अलग है, मेरा तरीका अलग है. तो सिमिलरली विद द चाइल्ड विद ऑटिज्म, पर्सन विद ऑटिज्म इज डिफरेंट. तो उसको भी जो दिखाई दे रहा है वो भी अलग है, उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन अलग है. तो ये सब हम लोगों को समझना पड़ेगा कि सब बच्चे जो हैं वो अलग अलग क्वालिटीज के साथ, एट्रीब्यूट के साथ आ रहे हैं. As I mentioned that key characteristic जो है इनका social and communication, क्या difference है उसमें? The first level is that they may avoid and have a difficulty with eye contact. So normally, child with the autism, person with the autism, they don't want to have eye contact, and they have sometimes they have a delayed speech development. कुछ को बहुत जल्दी हो जाता है, कुछ को delay होता है. But most of the cases, what we have been observing is that their speech is a bad problem. They are sometimes they are non-verbal. Non-verbal जब बोल रहा हूँ, so they are not 100%, but yes, they have sometimes their communication is an issue. उनको बोलने में दिक्कत आती है, थोड़ा लेट बोलते हैं. तो ये सब challenges हैं, and उनके emotions को भी आपको समझना, वो हमारे emotions को समझे, that is also sometimes it's a big challenge. And they may take language very literally. Behavior pattern, as I mentioned earlier also, that repetitive movement उनका होता है. Sometimes जो हाथ को वो ताली बजाते रहते हैं, and clapping होता है, rocking होता है. They have a strong preference for consistent routine. Jैसे we have been running the school, so even the teacher is changed. Sometimes teacher is changed, but the trainer are changed. So sometimes they also face the problem because that it's not easy for them to be flexible, right? And sometimes they are very highly focused. They have a deep focus for specific interest. If they are interested in music, so they will remain interested in music. So उनका deviation होना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. Sensory sensitivity to sound. कई बार बच्चे आप देखेंगे कि वो अपने कानों पे हाथ लगा रहे होते हैं, कान बंद करते हैं, मार्केट में जा रहे हैं, आपको जो हमको आवाज जा रही है उससे उनके कानों में आवाज बहुत ज्यादा जा रही होती है. तो हमें लगता है कि ये इनको क्यों डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है. लेकिन मेडिकल साइंस बोलते हैं कि उनको कान में आप थोड़ा सा कहीं कॉटन लगा दीजिए या कहीं कुछ कवर कर दीजिए, सो दैट उनका जो इरिटेशन होता है साउंड के साथ वो नहीं होगा. लाइट, ज्यादा लाइट से भी हो सकता है, कम लाइट से भी हो सकता है. टेक्सचर कलर का बोलते हैं कि ऑटिज्म को ब्लू कलर जो है वो थोड़ा सूदिंग लगता है. तो वी हैव टू यूज दैट ब्लू कलर फॉर एवरीथिंग. इवन द रूम शुड बी ब्लू. पेंट जो है ब्लू होना चाहिए. Strength often seen is that the exceptional memories for details, strong visual or logical thinking, deep knowledge in area of interest, and unique problem solving approach. तो ये सब characteristic जो research बता रही है उनके हिसाब से हम लोग कर रहे हैं. And coming to the point is that so far, like I've been talking to people right from US to Japan to Europe, the number of children with autism, they are they're growing everywhere. But cause का अभी तक fundamental कोई research नहीं है जो बोले कि this is the main cause for that. There's a speculation that this could be the reason, second reason, third reason. And following reasons are very common that the science is saying that there's a genetic factors. Autism tends to run in the families in some cases. Multiple genes are involved in brain development, communication pathway, and contributing to the spectrum of characteristics. And brain development research shows difference in how the brain processes information, form connections, and develop during early childhood in autistic children. Climate change, environmental issues are also one of the possible reasons, right? जितना climate change हो रहा है, pollution बढ़ रहा है, that is also one of the reasons. And factor during the pregnancy may play a very important role. So research is still ongoing. This could be include the maternal health, nutrition, and other pre-natural conditions. And but the important bit is that वैक्सीनेशन कई बार हमारे पास पेरेंट्स आते हैं तो हमें हमसे बात करते हैं कि क्या रीजन है, झाड़ फूक का भी रीजन बताते हैं एज पर देयर नॉलेज. वैक्सीनेशन इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रीजन कि कोविड के बाद कई लोग बोलते हैं कि बच्चे बढ़ने शुरू हो गए, बट दैट इज नॉट राइट. पेरेंटिंग स्टाइल डज नॉट कॉज ऑटिज्म, and autism is a neurodevelopment condition, not the result of how children are raised. Another interesting study I was reading US, उसका था कि STEM साइंस स्टूडेंट के जो पेरेंट्स साइंस स्टूडेंट हैं उनके बच्चों को उनके बच्चों में पॉसिबिलिटी बढ़ रही है. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी interesting. I don't know how much it's true, but that is another research I think coming from US. ऐसा भी हो रहा है. तो अर्ली साइन जो चैलेंजेस हैं, एक बहुत बड़ा मुझे लगता है जो चैलेंज हम लोग सब फेस करते हैं कि उनका डायग्नोस कब होता है, कब पेरेंट्स को मालूम पड़ता है कि बच्चा जो है उनका ऑटिस्टिक है, उसमें कुछ न्यूरो डेवलपमेंटल डिलेज हैं. कई बार तो नहीं, बट मुझे लगता है दैट इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस द डायग्नोसिस इज डिलेड, राइट. नॉर्मली बोलते हैं कि 16 महीने से लेके 2-2.5 साल तक अगर मालूम पड़ जाता है कि बच्चे में कुछ ऑटिज्म साइन है, तो उसकी थेरेपीज और उसके जो आपके जो भी उसका एक ट्रीटमेंट है वो शुरू हो सकता है. सो अर्ली आइडेंटिफिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर इन दिस केस. अर्ली आइडेंटिफिकेशन लीड्स टू बेटर आउटकम. While every child develops differently, certain red flags may indicate the need for professional evaluation. तो पहले महीने का है, 12 महीने का, वो कहता है कि there is no response to the name. 12 महीने में बच्चे को नाम बुलाते हैं तो बच्चा कुछ रिस्पॉन्स देता है. Child does not turn or react when called. No meaningful words by 16 months, delayed speech or a limited verbal communication. 16 महीने का होते होते बच्चा मम्मा पापा कुछ शब्द बोलना शुरू कर देता है. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो वी हैव टू ऑब्जर्व दैट वो जो डिलेड है स्पीच का, उसमें भी एक साइन से हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि बच्चे के अंदर कुछ ऑटिज्म है. अवॉइड आई कॉन्टैक्ट, कंसिस्टेंटली लुक्स अवे ड्यूरिंग द इंटरेक्शन, limited social smiling, reduce reciprocal social response, and repetitive movement. जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला कि ज्यादा अनविजुअल हैंड फ्लैपिंग हो रहा है, रॉकिंग हो रहा है, स्पिनिंग हो रहा है. तो ये सब चीजें हैं. तो इसमें अभी इसके ऊपर काफी काम शुरू हो गया. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है, चांस की बात है दैट विद माय बैकग्राउंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी वी आर ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट कि हम लोग कैसे इसको ऑटिज्म को हम लोग डायग्नोस करें. So now everybody knows that AI, artificial intelligence, is helping in number of ways. It's affecting everybody's life. So I think यहाँ पे 2 इंटरवेंशन हम लोगों के जो पार्टनर हैं उन लोगों ने किए हैं. The first, वो अपने टेक्नोलॉजी के बाद में करता हूँ. First is there is no single medical test for autism. Diagnosis is based purely on the comprehensive behavior of the observation. कई बार वो पेरेंट्स ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद थोड़ा समझने के बाद कि there might be something on the challenges in this particular child. वो एक्सेप्ट करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. कई बार वो एक्सेप्ट करने में भी मुझे लगता है कि काफी इंपॉर्टेंट टाइम जो है, बहुत फ्रेजाइल टाइम जो है, उसको वो वेस्ट कर देते हैं कि डॉक्टर पे जाना है या किसी एक्सपर्ट पे जाना है, थेरेपिस्ट पे जाना है. तो वो डायग्नोसिस इज बेस्ड कंप्रिहेंसिव ऑन द बिहेवियर ऑब्जर्वेशन. एज आई मेंशन इन माय प्रीवियस स्लाइड, आपको बताया कि आपकी जो 12 महीने में क्या करना है, 16 महीने में क्या ऑब्जर्व करना है, आपकी जो स्पीच है, आई कांटेक्ट है, बिहेवियर इश्यूज हैं, फ्लैपिंग है, ये सब आप ऑब्जर्व करते हैं तो आपको मालूम पड़ सकता है कि बच्चे में कुछ चैलेंजेस हैं. डेवलपमेंट स्क्रीनिंग एंड क्लिनिकल असेसमेंट बाय स्पेशलिस्ट सच एज द डेवलपमेंट पीडियाट्रिशियंस, साइकोलॉजिस्ट एंड न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट. राइट, ये एक नॉर्मल प्रोसेस है कि आप कुछ बिहेवियर डिसऑर्डर दिखने के बाद आपको लगता है कि फिर आपके पास then you have to go to the pediatrician psychologists and neurologists. I think on the basis of their observation and their assessment, they can find out, okay, this child is having a autism, right? कई बार वो delay हो जाता है, but early you identify early, this is diagnosed. I think the solutions are there, and common tools for that is developmental and behavior checklist. Deepika madam, psychology में काम कर रही हैं. I can see that number of other participants today are also coming with psychology background. So that is also very important. Psychological and cognitive evolution, direct observation of behavior, parents and caregiver interview, new AI tools. ये जैसे मैंने बोला, आप देख सकते हैं ये पिक्चर एक as I am working with some Japanese government program as well as some technology with Japanese companies. So challenges, this issues, autism, disability, special needs, this is not a confined to India. This is a international issues, global issues है. जहाँ इंसान है वहाँ पे ये सब issues है. तो एक हमारे कुछ पार्टनर्स ने ये सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप किया था जिसमें बच्चे को आप गेम खिलाएंगे, 2.5 से 3 साल से बच्चे से लेकर 6 साल तक के बच्चे उसमें they can play the game. You can give them a laptop, you can give them iPad, and they will play the game, simple game. उस गेम का जो पैटर्न है उसके बेस पे आपके रेड फ्लैग आते हैं कि आउट ऑफ 10,000 चिल्ड्रन इफ यू आर डूइंग सम काइंड ऑफ दिस टेस्ट, ये दोनों पिक्चर में आपको टेस्ट दिख रहा है. दोनों पिक्चर जो है ये आपकी NIVH जो अर्ली इंटरवेंशन सेंटर है इनका, वहां पे हम लोगों ने कैंप लगाया था. तो उसमें बच्चे के गेम खेलने के पैटर्न से बैकएंड पे जो हमारे एक्सपर्ट बैठे हैं वो बता पाते हैं कि बच्चे का गेम खेलने का तरीका और उसका पैटर्न जो है कुछ अलग है, राइट? सो मे बी आउट ऑफ 10,000 चिल्ड्रन if they are playing the game, which is, I think that time is about approximately 10 to 20 minutes. Out of 20 minutes, they can make out that child is having some issue. So out of 10,000 children, say only 10 बच्चों पे कहीं हमको रेड फ्लैग दिखा कि ये 10 बच्चे का गेम खेलने का तरीका is different than the normal child, right? So then we recommend that 10 children to go to the expert pediatrician पे जाएं या psychologist पे जाएं या neurologist पे जाएं. They will have their own process of assessment. And on the basis of that assessment, then they can say that, okay, this child is having some autism, right? So वो autism का level भी बता देंगे कि हाँ ये autism जो है आपका severe है, आपका mild है, आपका किस level का है. So this is, and another program which I think that we'll be trying is another software is also developed by very young scientists, very young engineers, and that young engineers are saying that आपकी जो you go in a computer room का जो आपका जो स्क्रीन है, आपका जो कैमरा लगा है, कैमरे के बेस पे, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन के बेस पे, within 5 to 10 minutes, the software will tell you that this child might be having some kind of autism, right? So this is the intervention of the technology. तो ये वाला जो प्रोग्राम मैंने आपको बताया है पहले वाला, इसमें आंगनवाड़ी जो है 5,000 आंगनवाड़ी अप्रोक्सीमेटली नासिक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 1 लाख बच्चों को हमारी टीम काम कर रही है. अभी इंडिया एआई मिशन ने इसको आइडेंटिफाई किया कि हाउ दिस इंडिया एआई मिशन जो है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, they are spending a lot of money on that. So they have also allotted 15,000 children across the country to do some kind of screening. The money will be paid by the government of India to do this. And we are in touch with government of Uttarakhand also. आंगनवाड़ी के डायरेक्टर से हमारी बात हुई है कि we might be doing this kind of that assessment and screening of children with autism. Because in a city like Dehradun, Haridwar, Delhi, Bombay, Chandigarh, we have number of early intervention programs, even supported by the government also, even supported by the NGOs also. But if you talk about the rural area, if you talk about the remotest part of Uttarakhand, गांव में आप कैसे उसको identify करें? And the parents, they don't have the resources कि वो देहरादून आएंगे और देहरादून में उनको कोई पाना पड़ेगा कि थेरेपी सेंटर है वहां जाएंगे, तो उसको अवॉइड करने के लिए, और दे आर नॉट अवेयर, दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड इनफ, दे डोंट हैव द रिसोर्सेज, पैसे के भी इसमें इशू होता है. तो वो एक बच्चा जहाँ 5 बच्चे घर में हैं वहां पे एक बच्चा को कमरे में डंप कर दिया जाता है, राइट? और इन द वेरी ब्लंट लैंग्वेज कोई उनको डाटा बोलता है, कोई कुछ कहता है, एंड दे हैव नो फ्यूचर फॉर दैट, राइट? सो इसको कैसे हम लोगों को सपोर्ट करना है, कैसे सिस्टम काम कर रहा है. देयर इज नो this is saying that while there is no cure for autism, medical cure I'm talking about, strong support system help individuals thrive and reach their full potential. First is the speech therapy, जो verbal और non verbal बच्चे हैं, जितना डिले करेंगे उतना उनको issues होगा. So that how speech therapy can help to improve the communication skill and language development. क्योंकि बच्चा अगर बोल नहीं पा रहा तो आप समझिए कि वो कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पा रहा तो अपनी बात समझा नहीं पा रहा. और अगर उसको सुनाई भी नहीं दे रहा तो वो बात ना समझ पा रहा है ना बता पा रहा है। उसके वी हैव नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन कमिंग टू अस, दांत में दर्द हो रहा है, रो रहा है बच्चा, पेट में दर्द हो रहा है बच्चा, रो रहा है, एंड ही हैज नो आइडिया कि उसको क्या बोलना है कि मेरे पेट में दर्द हो रहा है। माँ परेशान है, फादर परेशान है, पूरा सिस्टम परेशान है कि बच्चे को क्या हो रहा है। So communication is very important. Occupational therapies, I think that also very important. Develop daily living with the motor skills, behavioral therapies. Uh, behavior issues are very important. These are the different analysis. ABA is also very, very popular, a very known therapy system. Education support system. Dehradun mein, RB देखिए, Dehradun is a hub of the best school in the country. But can you believe that Dehradun के जो leading schools है, they don't accept children with autism or any kind of physical or intellectual disability, right? तो उसमें आपके पास पेरेंट्स के पास दिस इज अ बिग चैलेंज कि हम अपने बच्चे को peer learning भेजना चाह रहे हैं, इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन भेजना चाह रहे हैं, बट दे हैव नो चॉइस, राइट? सो Reena is here. She will talk about the inclusive classroom setup में क्या challenges है. Special education programs are very important, and IEPs, individualized education plan. So हमने देखा कि बच्चे की एज तो 14 साल की है, 12 साल की है, बट उसका IQ लेवल या उसकी लर्निंग स्किल जो है वो आपकी 3 साल के बच्चे की, 4 साल के बच्चे की। तो आपको वो एक्सेप्ट करना है, और एक्सेप्ट करने के बाद ही आपको IEPs डेवलप करके उनको एकोमोडेट करना है और उनको एक्सेप्ट करना है। लर्निंग एकोमोडेशन आपको क्रिएट करनी है। Family and community, yes. Not all families, not all communities, they accept that. Awareness and acceptance is first level of the treatment. Emotional support is very much needed, because मैंने देखा है बहुत मदर्स ऐसे भी फैमिली हैं जहाँ पे ट्विंस जो हैं वो दोनों भाई या दोनों बहनें जो हैं वो ऑटिज्म की शिकार हैं, राइट? आई कैन इमेजिन कि पेरेंट्स के लिए स्पेशली मदर बिग चैलेंज, राइट? सो द सपोर्ट टू द मदर इज समटाइम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। हमारे हिंदुस्तानी सिस्टम में कई बार उतना सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता है फैमिली सिस्टम में कि वो मदर पे ब्लेम भी कर दिया जाता है। दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी unfortunate part of the society, but yes, these are the hard facts about the society. Structure and predictable environment. As I mentioned that the child with autism, if he is going in the new environment, उसको लिए थोड़ा सा चैलेंज हो जाता है, he is not comfortable, he or she is not comfortable. And parents training programs, not only the parents, the caregiver training also. Caregiver जो उनकी ध्यान रख रहे हैं बच्चों को, दादा दादी भी हो सकते हैं, नाना नानी भी हो सकते हैं, चाचा चाची भी हो सकते हैं। इवन मैंने ऐसे भी बच्चे देखे हैं जहाँ पे बच्चा 5-6 साल का ऑटिस्टिक बच्चा है और 3 साल की छोटी बहन उसका ध्यान रख रही है, राइट? सो दैट सेंसिटिविटी इज इम्पोर्टेंट, द ट्रेनिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? फॉर द फैमिली ऑफ ए चाइल्ड विद ऑटिज्म, इट मीन्स embracing the amazing, celebrating the small wins and understanding the struggle, right? ये हमारे as a responsible citizenship, responsible citizen, responsible society, I think very important to support the family of a child with autism. छोटे छोटे इश्यूज, आई एम सो हैप्पी कि डॉक्टर शर्मा ने जो बताया कि वो मटर काट रहा है, तो वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है। उसमें कपड़े में क्या पहनना है, दाल कौन सी बनानी है, उन्होंने बताया, तो ये आपके इतनी बड़ी बात है। तो एवरी फैमिली इज नॉट सो सपोर्टिव। तो बच्चे के लिए, उनके इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए, उनकी जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ने के लिए ये सब छोटे छोटे माइक्रो लेवल के जो इंटरवेंशन है, दीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। So what can be the role of the society at large? Promote inclusion, create accessible and environment in schools, workplace, and public spaces. Support neurodiversity, recognize and value different ways of thinking and processing information. As I mentioned, that every child is not same. Autistic बच्चों के लिए तो और बड़े challenges हैं। Employment opportunity create करना है। डॉक्टर शर्मा का मैं बार-बार जिक्र कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि 14, 15, 16 साल के बाद what they can do. You don't expect them to become a doctor, engineer, or to go in the mainstream education, mainstream profession. So you have to create some kind of employment opportunity for them. So चाहे वो घर में माँ के साथ या घर में कुछ काम कर ले, as per the skills, as per their learning. अभी देहरादून में एक दिव्य कला मेला हुआ था, उसमें गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कराया था, तो उसमें आई वाज सो इम्प्रेस कि एक बच्चा आई थिंक 14-15 साल का था, देवांश, ही इज अमेजिंग सिंगर, और वो जो है उनका यूट्यूब में भी है, देवांश का, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे प्रोग्राम में जा रहा है, नेशनल इंटरनेशनल घूम रहा है। तो दैट चाइल्ड इज ऑटिस्टिक, बट हिज सिंगिंग स्किल्स, हिज म्यूजिक स्किल्स आर एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी। तो ये आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि कौन कौन सी स्किल में कर सकते हैं। एंड फाइनल थिंग इज रिड्यूस स्टिग्मा, क्योंकि स्टिग्मा जो है हमारी समाज में, हमारी सोसाइटी में बहुत किलिंग है पेरेंट्स के लिए, उस फैमिली के लिए। हर पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चे को सोशल गैदरिंग में नहीं लेके जाना चाहता, उनके रिश्तेदार परेशान करते हैं, उनके रिश्तेदार अवॉइड करते हैं। तो लेकिन ये स्टिग्मा अगर समाज में खत्म हो जाता है, वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दैट चाइल्ड इज बोर्न विद सम काइंड ऑफ स्पेशल नीड्स, देयर वी कॉल देम गिफ्टेड चिल्ड्रन, गिफ्टेड पर्सन, right? So you have to accept them, and on the basis of that, you have to remove this misconception, educate communities, you have to create awareness program. जैसा डॉक्टर दीपिका ने आज प्रोग्राम किया था, आई एम श्योर दैट आई डोंट नो मेरा मेरा ये प्रेजेंटेशन कितना किसी के लिए स्किलिंग है, बट I think very important, this kind of programs are very important for creating awareness, right? So we have to remove the misconception about autism. कि बच्चा देख रहे हैं आप, so इसके IEP प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, नीचे का जो है, दिस इज वन ऑफ द स्कूल इन हैदराबाद, जहाँ पे ये बच्चे हियरिंग इम्पेयर्ड भी हैं और ऑटिज्म भी है, सब पूरी साइन लैंग्वेज में स्कूल चल रहा है। सो ऑटिस्टिक बच्चे भी सीख रहे हैं और काफी कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है। आई वाज हाईली इंटरेस्ट टू सी दिस स्कूल। Coming to the point is that what are the strengths? Many individuals with autism excel in the specific area, focusing on abilities rather than their limitation. So we have to focus on their abilities rather than limitation, and open door to meaningful opportunity. So as you know that people like Einstein, जो है extraordinary brain के जो मालिक थे, आप समझ सकते हैं कि कितना बड़ा उनका अचीवमेंट है। तो उनको भी बोला जाता है दैट वो भी एक ऑटिस्टिक बच्चे थे और अल्टीमेटली उन्होंने भी बहुत एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी लाइफ में अचीवमेंट किया। नेल्सन मंडेला जो साउथ अफ्रीका के प्रेसिडेंट भी हुए, बहुत एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी स्टेट्समैन थे, बहुत एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी वो इंसान थे। उनको भी बोला जाता है वो भी ऑटिस्टिक थे। अगर आप गूगल करेंगे, थोड़ा केस स्टडी देखेंगे तो बहुत सक्सेसफुल लोग हुए हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं कि उनको जो इश्यूज थे वो लोकल लेवल पे थे। अगर फोटो देख सकते हैं लेफ्ट में, ये बच्चा जो मैंने आपको बताया था, सॉफ्टवेयर ही इज यूजिंग, so after 5-10 minutes we can make out that what is the IQ level of this child, what is the any kind of autism is there or not. This girl is also with autism, she is also a very good artist, so we are creating this kind of opportunity for all the children. And other हम लोग क्या support system कर सकते हैं? The technology. So some of the children with autism are very good in using the IT skills, right? आप उनको मोबाइल दे दीजिए, मोबाइल में वो कितनी एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी काम कर सकते हैं, इवन वी कांट थिंक ऑफ इट, राइट? स्ट्रॉन्ग लॉजिकल थिंकिंग है उनके अंदर, स्ट्रॉन्ग लॉजिकल थिंकिंग एंड अटेंशन टू डिटेल, मेक मेनी एक्सेल इन कोडिंग एंड IT एंड टेक्निकल फील्ड. Art and creativity is also is a part and parcel of their personality. Unique perspective leads to innovative artistic expressions and design thinking. Mathematics जो है, I know some of the children with extraordinary mathematical skills, right? So उनको बता दीजिए कि लास्ट ईयर 25 अप्रैल 2025 को या 2020 को कौन सा दिन था, तो I don't know what skill they have, but they will tell you that उस दिन वेडनेसडे था, थर्सडे था. Maybe after 5 years also they will tell you that 25 अप्रैल 2030 में कौन सा दिन होगा, कौन सा डे होगा. So these are the extraordinary skills they have. Pattern recognition, remarkable skills in identifying patterns, details, and systems. So what our way forward from here is the progress is being made, but significant gaps remains in awareness. Awareness में बार-बार awareness के ऊपर बात कर रहा हूँ. Screening is another big challenge. और अभी तक मैं परसेंटेज देखता हूँ तो ये this is only confined to only big metro cities or city like Dehradun and Chandigarh and maybe Delhi. Right? Maybe that if you go to a city like Saharanpur, you go to Muzaffarnagar, you go to Roorkee, there may be or may not be the screening kind of systems that well set up here. So we have to set up a complete support system, particularly in India and other developing nations. Early screening, as I mentioned, that जितना जल्दी screening हो जाएगा, 16 महीने से 2.5 साल तक जब screening हो जाता है, तो you have a better option और उनका learning का scope बढ़ता है. Trained professionals, ये हम लोग सब फेस कर रहे हैं कि the trained professionals are not here. As I mentioned that every minute one child is born in India with autism, but that kind of professionals, whether it's speech therapists or OT specialists or other therapists, they are not there. Policy support, government is also working, I think that very actively on that. दिव्यांगजन के ऊपर जो स्कीम चल रही हैं, कुछ आई थिंक डॉक्टर सुनील सर अगर हमारे ग्रुप में है या डॉक्टर जनेंद्र हैं, तो गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स भी काफी और गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशन भी काफी इसमें नए आपके सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एज वेल एज स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से काफी हो रहे हैं. बट स्टिल आई फील दैट awareness and sensitivity is not much there. Inclusive infrastructure, you go to school, you go to bus, accessibility in the school, workplaces, public spaces. मुझे बस से दिल्ली जाना है, मुझे बस से लोकल ट्रैवल करना है. कैन यू इमेजिन कि मैं व्हील चेयर पे हूँ और मेरे को उस बस वाला अलाउ करेगा? राइट. सो some interesting moments जो चल रहे हैं, that is inclusive city के ऊपर काम हो रहा है. So autism is not a limitation; it's a different perspective of experiencing the world, and we have to accept that. So thank you very much. Anybody has a question, I'll be more than happy to answer. And so thank you. Thanks for your patience hearing.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this very important topic. And we are delighted to hear you. And thank you so much for giving us your time.
It was such an insightful session. Thank you for sparing time, sir. And be here to guide all our budding psychologists and psychologists. You are working on so many projects. So is there any opportunity for the budding psychologist who can work and learn in the projects? I think it will be good so that we can collaborate with each other. Yes, participants?
Absolutely.
So over to you, Sneha.
Yes, if anyone wants to join us in future, they can always contact me. Right? Okay, so now as we move forward, we will start with our award ceremony. So a special highlight of the event is award ceremony to recognize the outstanding contribution of the awardees. And I request our chief guest, Dr. Anil sir, to base the award ceremony by presenting the certificates.
एक मिनट है ना, 5 मिनट लगेंगे.
Please announce the names, Sneha.
In the list of awardees, first we have Dr. Saurav Unyal, who is assistant professor at the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Graphic Era University. And sir has done commendable work in the field of research. So I would like to request Anil sir to please felicitate the award. For the Young Researcher Award in Psychology to Dr. Saurav Unyal.
Neil sir. Neha, please move ahead.
Yes, even Brit sir bhi de sakte hain Saurav sir ko. Saurav sir is here. सर आप म्यूट पर हो.
डॉक्टर सौरभ उनियाल, आप बधाई के पात्र हैं और आपके इतने अच्छे कार्य के लिए आपको सराहना मिली है. मैं आपको बारंबार बधाई देता हूँ.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to the team of Speakingcube, Rita ma'am, and the whole team of Speakingcube, and special thank you to the Deepika ma'am for providing me the opportunity as well as the recognition. Thank you so much. And Speakingcube is doing a tremendous work in the field of psychology. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, sir. Next, we have Dr. Tamanna Saxena, who is Associate Professor at the Department of Psychology, MT University, Noida. And ma'am has done commendable work in the field of special education. She's a developmental psychologist. So the award is the Development Psychologist Award. So congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Sneha. And I would really like to thank Speakingcube, Dr. Deepika, and the whole team And special thanks to Dr. Bridge also. I had the privilege of interacting with him also. So thank you so much. I take this award on to the pointer that in any case, further ahead, we can do good work in the field and can bring about difference into the field. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Revati, who is a lecturer at the Department of Special Education and Research, NIEVPD, Dehradun. Ma'am has done a great work in the field of special education. She is a special educator. So the award is the Special Educator Excellence Award. And I would like to request Dr. Britsar to please felicitate the award.
Dr. Revati, congratulations for the Special Educator Excellence Award. आपका काम
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And my voice is audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Mrs. Reena Jaggi, who is a B.Ed in Special Education and
Sorry.
M.Ed in Special Education.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. बहुत बहुत सभी को नमस्कार. And I would like to thank Dr. Deepika, Dr. Bridge Sharma, and Speakingcube for recognizing special educators and people who are working in the special needs part of the education. And one important thing which Dr. Bridge Sharma also said is including the children in everything, in almost all the activities. And yes, definitely, I being the principal and the leader of Greenfield School, which is an inclusive school, thoroughly inclusion, we follow all the practices of inclusion. And we have been advocating inclusion since many, many years now. And today also we've got around 50 students with special needs. Out of 50, almost 30, more than 30, we have children with autism. And I think it's a two-way learning. Even the mainstream children learn so much to be empathetic towards all kinds of people in the society. So thank you for recognizing our work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations. Next, we have Dr. Sunil Kumar, who is an assistant professor at the Department of Special Education at the NIEPVD, that is the National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities. And the award is the Special Education Pioneer Award. So I think sir couldn't join us today, but we would like to congratulate him. Next, we have Dr. Janendra Kumar, who is a director and head Uttarakhand Kaushal Vikas Kendra for Divyangjan, Government of India. And the award is Inclusive Education Pioneer Award. And sir also couldn't join us today. So we would like to congratulate him and give our blessings. So with that, we are done with our award ceremony. And now we will move forward with our plenary sessions. So without further wasting our time, we would like to invite Dr. Sara Javed, who is assistant professor at Aligarh Muslim University, UP. And she will illuminate us the topic on understanding autism spectrum disorder. So we welcome you, ma'am, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're on.
And is my presentation visible?
No, ma'am.
It's not visible. Just a second. It's visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. And Once again, Speakingcube is here with a very meaningful and a very much needed initiative, that is to discuss autism through this national seminar. And Speakingcube has consistently demonstrated its commitment, and it contributes to fulfill all of the justice to its mission, that is creating awareness and promoting impactful dialogues relating to mental health. So I would sincerely like to thank the entire fraternity of Speakingcube, and especially to you, Dr. Deepika, for inviting me as a keynote speaker. And no doubt it's an honor and privilege to be part of this important platform. So today, since morning, you all have been listening about autism spectrum disorder, and I was there in Dr. Jaggi's lecture, and no doubt it was full of insights, and it added a lot of knowledge to my existing knowledge also. And today I'm again here with you. We'll be doing a quick revision of what all we have done right till now, because it seems you people have already covered the basic information, that is what autism spectrum disorder is. So if you talk about autism, it's not a condition, it's actually a different way of experiencing and interacting with the world. It's a different way. The way of interaction is different. Their way of experiencing is different. So each of the individual on the spectrum, which Dr. Jaggi was also emphasizing, that we call it as autism spectrum disorder. So what makes spectrum is that the unique feature, the uniqueness of all of the individual, the uniqueness in terms of its strength, the uniqueness in terms of the challenges it is facing, the uniqueness in terms of its perspectives. So the spectrum itself actually reflects the diversity, because no two individuals with autism are exactly alike. So this was the reason why in DSM-5, the revision was made from DSM-4 TR, and all of the important dignitaries, they agreed to the fact that the existing classification were holding separate different conditions of autism, like autism disorder was there, Asperger disorder was there, pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified was there, and childhood, this integrative disorder was there. But it was, there was a lot of overlapping of all of these disorders. So because of this, a single diagnosis was made, that was autism spectrum disorder. And this shift highlights that autism exists on a continuum, with varying level of severity and support needs, rather than on fixed category.
Sorry to disturb you, Dr. Sara.
Yes,
It's the first slide only?
it's just the introductory one. I haven't moved from.
Sure.
Okay. So, so in this session, we are going to go beyond the definition and labels, and I will just try to give you the understanding of early signs and clinical features related to autism. I'll not, as I don't have a lot of time, so I'll not go much deeper into it, but I'll be making you aware of the early signs and symptoms, because it's very, very necessary to understand early signs, the clinical features of autism, because understanding autism, it's the first step towards acceptance, and acceptance is the very first step towards inclusion. So you need to understand, you need to really understand what autism is, the definition of autism, what it means. Then only you will be able to, include them. You will be able to go into it, you will be able to take it as an, accept them with you. Otherwise, you will not do that justice, and the justice towards inclusion will not be done. So let us first understand that what autism spectrum disorder is. So it's a neurodevelopmental disorder that typically appear within the first 3 years of the life. It mainly affect the 3 key areas, that is social interaction, the communication, and the behavior. So in simple terms, individuals with autism may have difficulty in understanding social cues, They cannot understand what the other person is trying to convey to them. They cannot give that expression that what they are trying to. They cannot express themselves. And yes, they may show certain behavior which might be repetitive in nature. This repetitive behavior in nature again gives you a clear indication of what this thing is, autism is. We will be discussing repetitive behavior bit in detail further. So now you can see that one of the most crucial aspect of autism, or let it be any other mental health condition, is early identification. So, there are certain developmental milestones that has been recognized as early signs. You can see that by the month of 6 months, we expect smiles and eye contact, right? But a child who's suffering from autism, he may show little or none. By the 9th month, there may be limited sharing of expressions like smiles or sounds. By the 12th month, there will be no babbling or response to their name. By the 16th month, you will see only few words, or at times you see there are no words. And by the 24th month, you will see there is no meaningful 2-word phrases. So, early signs are extremely important. Early identification, because the sooner you start with the intervention, the better results will come. And the sooner identification of the symptoms will lead you to the implementation of the intervention also. So these early signs are extremely important because early intervention, they can significantly improve the outcomes of the person who is suffering from this. So now moving further to the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder as per DSM-5 criteria. You will see that according to DSM-5, the diagnosis is based on 2 main domains. The first one is that the persistent deficits in social communication and social interaction, which means that the child has ongoing difficulty in understanding and engaging in social communication. And the second one is the child may not make eye contact, or may, but in social communication, if I give you the example of social communication, you will see the child may avoid eye contact, they may not respond to their names, or they may actually not show interest in any of the social interaction, or they may have difficulty in expressing their needs or understanding what others are feeling. The second criteria which is there is restricted and repetitive pattern of behavior, interest, or activities, which refers to behavior that are repeated again and again or are very fixed. Like, for example, a child may repeat the same movement like hand flapping, or he may insist on following the same daily routine, or he may become very focused on a particular object or activity. So they may also show unusual reaction to sensory inputs like sound, touch, or light. If the monotonous activity is disturbed, they may become, they may not like it. They may start showing different tantrums towards it. So in simple terms, the first part is about difficulty in social communication, and the second part is about repetitive and restrictive behavior. And these symptoms, they must be present in very early development. They must cause significant impairment in your social, in your occupational, or important daily functioning, and they should not be better explained by intellectual disability alone. They are different from intellectual disability because some of the symptoms you will see in people who are suffering from intellectual disability. So diagnosis is not based on a single test, but a pattern of behavior which are observed over time. Okay, so now if we look at the clinical features of autism spectrum disorder, so the first and foremost, if we look at the language and communication. So in language and communication, you will see that children may show delayed speech. They may show poor response to their name or repetition of words, which are also called echolalia. These are some of the language problems you will see. They are unable to communicate what they want. They have repetitive words. The vocab at times are very limited one. Other set of clinical features are social interaction. In social interaction, you will see they may avoid eye contact. They may prefer playing alone. They may avoid the gathering, social gathering. They may show little interest in social interaction or pretend play. So now if we move on to the third of the clinical feature, is that it's repetitive and restrictive behavior. So over here, you will see that they include repetitive movements, strong attachment to routines, and unusual sensitivity to sensory stimulus like sound or touch. So it is important to remember that these behavior vary from person to person, which I emphasized in the very beginning of the session, that it's on a spectrum. Okay, so now these are some of the clinical features. So it has also been seen that autism and brain development. There have been several researches which have shown that some autistic children, they exhibit faster brain growth in early years, that is during the 2 and 3 years of their life. Certain MRI studies have shown that larger head circumferences and the brain size in autistic toddlers, the head circumference is larger. This overgrowth may disturb the normal organization of brain and neck. So, affected brain area, you will see the prefrontal cortex. In prefrontal cortex, you will see that there is some reduced activation during social tasks. You will see that it may be structurally larger or have altered connectivity early in life, and they can affect social reasoning and flexible thinking. The other area which is affected is amygdala. So often showing a typical size or growth pattern over there, which might contribute to difficulty in interpreting facial expression and emotional cues. So when we talk about connectivity, this connectivity is something which refers to communication and coordination among different regions of the brain. So there is differences in connectivity, both within the specific and across different brain regions. And this alteration actually alters the information processing of autism spectrum disorder cases. So now there is short range over connectivity or there is long range under connectivity. In short range over connectivity, you will see that increased connectivity between local brain regions, leading to enhanced focus on details. They will be very particular about certain things. And long range under connectivity, you will see that there is decreased connectivity between the distinct region, which affect the integration of information across different domains like social communication. Well, I'm not going into the intervention part, which I thought I would be going for because of scarcity of time. So and I think that's all of it, Dr. Deepika and Sneha. I'm speaking just skipping the intervention part, which I thought of, the few of the intervention which I thought of including it. So, okay, if that's all for it, so if you people want any type of discussion, then I'm open for it.
An insightful session, Dr. Sara, as always. It is always a pleasure to have you on such kind of occasions. Thank you so much for being there. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your time and such an insightful session.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Deepika.
Now, yes, ma'am.
Any questions, anyone?
Yes, any questions?
I think we can move ahead. There are no questions. We can move ahead.
Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, Professor Dr. Tamanna Saxena, who is a PhD in Developmental Psychology, Associate Professor at Amity University, Noida. Ma'am will be enlightening us on early identification and intervention in autism and why timing matters. So, welcome, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so very much, Sneha. First and foremost, you will have to tell me that I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. A very good morning to everyone present and a very good morning to Dr. Deepika and Speakingcube. First and foremost, thank you so very much for inviting me to be the keynote speaker for such an important seminar that you have hosted. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I think this is one topic which really, really needs that level of awareness and understanding. And I think it is essential and imperative that we take it down to the masses. So I am so happy and so thankful again to Dr. Deepika and Speakingcube, which is always and always getting to doing good work and trying and making a difference in the field, in the society. And I think that is one of the most important thing to be undertaken. So sorry for my throat, I am a bit unwell, but in any case, I'll just share my screen and just give me 1 second to see. Yes. Okay, they don't give me an option to, so I'll share the entire screen if that helps. Okay. Okay. I believe now it must be visible. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Yes. And I'll just take 1 second. I'll have to tweak in certain things because I've shared the whole screen. So I really don't know.
So you can cross it.
I can, no? Yes. I think that's what I was asking.
Yes.
So thank you so very much for the same. So from here, without taking much time, because in any case, I'm going to be talking about why timing matters, and that too very specifically in the early identification and intervention in autism. I've been heading to the session since morning, and I think what Dr. Bridge, Dr. Jaggi, and further Dr. Sara have already spoken about, it talks about how and in what manner autism, being a neurodevelopmental condition, differs from the other parameters. What are the basic aspects that really, really need to be seen, and how and in what manner, if we entirely know and are very cautious about the things from the very beginning, it can entirely do wonders for the very individual that we are talking about. So from here, let me move on to what entirely autism spectrum disorder is. I won't be going into detail. I think since morning we have been talking about it. It talks about the very differences in the social communication, in the very restriction, in the very patterns, and how and in what manner it provides a whole wide range of symptoms and diversity out and over there. So to be very honest, the very question is not that whether autism exists in early childhood or not. The question comes in whether or not the adults around are able to recognize these signs. Because when we are talking so much about autism, we are talking about those young children, those young kids who are with autism. Very specifically, it is a very important responsibility of the adults around. And I would go by what Dr. Bridge was also mentioning in the morning. Family has a very important role to play. Teachers have an important role to play. I believe as a society, each one of us has a very, very important role to play. So it's essential and imperative that we are able to recognize the very signs from the very beginning. Those are very small signs and differences that we really need to notice. A very simple aspect about whether or not the young kid is making an eye contact, is playing alone or playing with other kids or not. When Dr. Sara also entirely did mention and being into the play domain, I would again like to mention, if the kid is not indulging in any level of pretend play, not entirely trying and utilizing the various things out and over there to come across as play materials, I think those are our recognition signs. So why it's so much of aspect on the early recognition is because early identification plays and gives in a very important pointer for a better opportunity to support the child, because This is the time period of the rapid developmental growth period. So this early identification and support can actually make a meaningful difference in the child's life per se. Why the very timing matters? I think we have been deliberating onto it. Very specifically, before the age of 5, 90% of the child's brain development happens. These first few years are very categorically marked by rapid brain development, a high level of neuroplasticity, a strong responsiveness to intervention. There are ample studies which entirely do talk about that how and in what manner individuals are quite responsive at this very age grade. Children are more likely to gain in communication, social engagement, adaptive functioning, and participation in daily routines. I'll again go back to what Dr. Bridge was mentioning in the morning, and I think those were very, very important insights, that in any case, small things are being undertaken at home, family being a part of it, parents being a part of it. And that is why whenever we are talking about autism, we are very categorically talking about how the parents and the teachers have to all work together. And any level of delayed identification, somehow leads to the developmental gaps. And also, we are not saying that the later intervention would not have a mark to make, but yes, it will have more things and more addressing to both core difficulties and the consequences of the missed learning opportunities that we are being provided with. So why it is important? All the services, we know when we do talk about autism, it can't be a one-way process. It has to be a multi-pronged team. We have a whole multifaceted team through which we entirely work in. So we do have speech language therapy, we have occupational therapy, we have behavioral supports, parent coaching, parents being a part of it, educational plan. Along with that, somehow also ensuring that the families understand the child's behavior. I was listening to that, what Dr. Jaggi was also mentioning, and at a lot of times, families are not aware. And at times when they are even aware about things, they're not ready to accept. So when early identification is out and over there, we have gone down to that identification, the definition had further gone in, we can entirely help the family, handhold them, be with them, let them know about the things, and helping them deal with the child's behavior in a meaningful manner, reducing any level of confusion, blame, or any level of delay in help seeking. Very specifically, we do have a lot of delays and a lot of barriers in our country too when it comes down to autism, families not being aware. So in any case, they go down to that. In any case, we will be curing it, we will be working onto it. We are not saying when we do talk about the curative aspect, it is in terms of management of autism, how well entirely we can manage the whole issues. So in any case, various kinds of research also do talk about and consistently report that early intervention is associated with improvements in language, cognition, adaptive behavior, and any level of symptom severity. I won't go ahead because of the paucity of time. I won't go into the early signs of autism. I think we have been talking about it since morning, lack of pointing, but very, very simple, small recognizing pointers. And why I have been mentioning about this thing and why I was so thankful to Dr. Deepika, because in any case, the kind of awareness that we require in our country for autism is that each and every individual is aware about these signs per se. So they know about that how and in what manner they entirely come out, and know 2-word phrases by approximately 2 years or so, issues in communication, not playing along with others, trying and playing with on their own. In any case, these early signs somehow further lead on to going ahead with the further formal diagnosis per se. The kind of screening scenario that we have in India It is generally again emphasized and very specifically at 18 months, and then again at 24 to 30 months. Earlier visits such as 9 months are typically based on developmental surveillance rather than formal autism specific screening. The formal one approximately goes approximately by around 2 years or so. So Indian Academy of Pediatrics also advocates universal screening for approximately at 18 and 24 to 30 months with the developmental screening per se. I'll be talking about these common tools further also. So what approximately happens at 9 months, 18 months and 24 months? I think this is also something what Dr. Sara also touched base on too. So at 9 months, we all clinicians usually observe the overall developmental milestones, the social responsiveness, how well they're communicating, how communication ready are they, and going by the parent concerns rather than the formal training. At 18 or autism focused screening becomes more important. And this is also the recommended screening window. At 24 to 30, repeat screening is useful so that the others who are not clearly identified may show clearer signs. So some of the common tools, we do have the modified checklist for autism rating, and we have the revised version also. Other commonly utilized tools are autism diagnostic observation schedule being utilized by a lot of organizations. We have CARS, Standard Autism Rating Scale. Another one, Trivandrum Autism Behavioral Checklist, Indian Scale for Assessment of Autism. And in any case, this positive screening from these screening tools does not always mean that this is the final diagnosis. It's like the first step, and further that is what is going to lead on to the diagnosis per se. Moreover, it's what is essential is that the concerns are observed. A screening is being undertaken either by the parent or the caregiver, and if it is positive, it may be further given in for further assessment, utilizing the comprehensive assessment, and then further going on to understanding and supporting the same. Some of the barriers which I have been talking about, it is for the delayed by low awareness. I believe that in any case, this is not the scenario, this may happen. And I think one point that which we did have been discussing since morning, the stigma. The very stigma that is out there, that stigma entirely needs to go. We have to understand it's a condition. It's just, I love the way Dr. Sara entirely mentioned that it is not, moreover, that we do say that it's a condition or it's just a different way. And that is how we entirely need to go on. We need to have a normalization of the early red flags and even differences. And moreover, a lot of families only reach after school problems. It's moreover like, abhi chota hai, is wajah se hai, thodi baad mein kar lenge. So it is very, very, very important that we strengthen the screening aspect, and family education is being provided. Family is very, very, very important in our country too, in order to recognize the signs, understand that this early identification is further going to pave way, which is going to help the child per se. All of us professionals have a very important role to play in noticing these concerns. I think I have been deliberating onto it again and again. It has to be at every level, coming down to the whole ICDS scheme, coming down to the Anganwadi workers, the community health workers, professionals, psychologists, therapists, each and every individual. I would even say that even the common individuals need to know about these impacts. I think if we do talk about it across the world, when we do talk about any level of awareness about an issue, mental health concern also, it is ensured that every person is aware. It includes even a person out there who's a shopkeeper, a person who is the watchman, so that they can recognize those concerns also. Early intervention should begin as soon as the concerns are identified and should not wait for the final diagnosis. So very specifically, what all early intervention is going to include in, it includes the speech therapy, depending on the very concerns. Again, every individual is a different one. Occupational therapy, developmental and behavioral support, promoting learning, promoting play-based activities, play-based tasks, and utilizing natural play. to build in or the engagement, joy, and meaningful learning opportunities. In any case, what Dr. Bridge was reiterating in the morning, I was so happy while he was mentioning about this thing, because this is something I always mention. Learning happens in everyday routines. The everyday routines comes down to the mealtime with the family, practicing communication, turn taking, having new foods, working on with foods. I loved the matar wala example, and I think that is something which we entirely all need to talk about. The playtime, building skills through shared play activities, shared task. I would be just showcasing one. Dressing, giving them independence, sequencing in how entirely it is to be done, even giving them that choice of choosing in what is to be done. Transit, which very specifically giving in visual supports also. There are a number of benefits for the child. They will have adaptive skills, social participation, and behavior regulation. Benefits for the family: it helps them understand the child's need, reduce uncertainty, and develop confidence. Early intervention, always and always, is child-centered and family-centered. This is the one of the most important pointer per se. Now, this is something which I wanted to touch base. I will just take a little bit more time for just talking about play and sanctuary therapy as very important interventions in autism. And whenever we do talk about early intervention, most of the time we very specifically come down to play therapy to be utilizing. Play therapy is moreover relationship based, developmentally appropriate, supports the communication, social interaction, play, emotional expression. Sanctuary therapy, moreover, is the sensory symbolic play method utilizing sand and miniatures. It helps them express their feelings and themes non-verbally. One of the most important pointer to be dealt in when we do talk about kids with autistic kids per se. Now, sanctuary therapy is an expressive sensory symbolic form of play therapy, which utilizes sand and miniature objects. I'll just show what entirely it looks like. It can help autistic children express their feelings, themes, relationships, inner experiences wherever verbal expression is limited. And there has been ample literature, ample studies which have spoken about the benefits of sanctuary. And randomized trials also reported gains, and it may be especially helpful for children who benefit from sensory engagement, and it's one of the most supportive intervention. And so this is one aspect which I wanted to touch base on to. The online sanctuary therapy for autism by Karen Pride. I do understand. I think it is very important that we reach on to the masses at every level. In the present scenario, we do know that technology is being utilized at every level. Dr. Jaggi also emphasized, and he did display and talk about one of the important screening tool, which was utilizing the play-based approach or method. I just thought about showcasing about how online sanctuary therapy works. It works onto the same principles, just that it is online. It supports, it's more over like that. It can be screened, shared during virtual sessions, and there has been, and in any case, then the child can get to select and arrange visual miniatures. And moreover, it shows a promise for social communication, emotional expression, and related developmental functioning. But the best practice would be to utilize it as a supportive relationship-based tool within a broader intervention plan. So moreover, just an add-on along with the other therapeutic entities. And because we do know how technology has seeped into our system, this can be a good one. I'm not very sure whether you'll be able to hear, but if this is audible, this is just a very small video about how it goes in. Is this audible? The video is audible?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to showcase that how entirely it works. There are miniatures out and over there, and they can be used in, or simply just, if I'm able to take it on to this level, this is what it entirely looks like. just like a normal sign tray. It's guessed on to choosing, the kid gets to include or add on. So just a small kind of when to show my screen. I'm so sorry. I believe now it is visible. So just to showcase about what entirely it is. So just another intervening thing. So coming down to the key message that the early identification is not just about labeling them or putting it across, but it is all about supporting them soon enough. If recognized early, intervention can begin when the child's learning system, family routines, and social environments are most open to the change. The parents are out and over there. Timing is often the difference between the delayed crisis response and the meaningful developmental support. That is how and in what manner we do talk about timing. So early support improves outcomes, family well-being, and inclusion. So coming down to the whole crux of the same. So early identification opens the door to early intervention, and early intervention opens the door to better developmental outcomes, stronger family support, and more inclusive futures for children with autism. That is how I would like to end with. These are some of the references. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I must say that the PPT was very catchy and creative.
I tried
Thank
to
you
make
so
it.
much.
I wanted to ensure that play plays a role into it.
It was really a wonderful, wonderful session, Tamanna ma'am. And it is always a feast to listen to you. And I hope that all the participants have got an idea about different techniques and different AI integrated techniques that we use
Absolutely.
as far as intervention is concerned.
And I would love to discuss the same with the Speakingcube per se, because I think the Speakingcube is the one which entirely takes up good, unique task further.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to invite our next keynote speaker, Dr. Revati, who is a lecturer at the Department of Special Education and Research, NIEVPUD, Dehradun. Ma'am will be enlightening us on neurodiversity perspective, moving from deficit to difference. So please welcome Dr. Revati, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Speakingcube team and Deepika madam for having this big, huge seminar, national seminar today, and most importantly, and taking a lead of this awareness, creating awareness on autism is one of most important and urgent, required need of in this era. And we see like disability is increasing with years. I would say like autism, when we say like 2011 census, we have still now, but the census have the not have the categories of 7 categories of disabilities. It include the speech, hearing, movement, and ID and mental illness. And again, we have RPWD Act of 21, but we want to more increase the awareness of autism, because the act has included the autism as one of the category in the 21 kind of disabilities, but we need to actually find prevalence of children with autism and other children with disabilities. It's we to look at that, and the previous census was 20 lakhs of children with disabilities above 6 years of age. So this is a big important final. I would like to say like this is a very important a kind of seminars that create awareness, that unite us, all of us together. And being a part of this seminar, I am really grateful to Madam and the team, Sneha, and everyone belong to Speakingcube. And Yeah, thank you. I think we are in quite short of time to have our session. So I'll talk about the topic today, which I talk about neurodiversity perspective, moving from deficit to difference. So this is an important, I would say, like, this is an important topic. I think it is a right time to talk about this topic because previous sessions which talk about different aspects, understanding the autism management aspect and also the early intervention, signs and of autism, symptoms of autism. Yes, so we have come to this session, and thank you for the team once again. So I'll proceed with my presentation. Yes. So autism spectrum disorder. So I don't want to go to the definitions and talk about more aspect because time is short. So I just wanted to mainly give you a glimpse about what this diversity perspective mean and what way we can look ahead and what we need to aware about, understand about the autism, and we proceed further and support individuals for inclusion in the society. That is more important. So autism spectrum disorder, we all know it is a neurodevelopmental disability which caused by differences in the brain aspects. And because of disability, this autism, we all know that it identifies as per the definition says, like 3 years of age. So it most probably, I can say, like unusual, usually it is not diagnosed before 18 months. So many times that delays happens, and parents were in a stage denial and shock, and they suspect and they go to the doctor, and doctor give a referral diagnosis to medical professional or a psychologist, and further it diagnosed with some tools that we have, ISA, MSAT, autism diagnostic observation schedules. More we rely on these tools, and we could able to identify the autism under which kind of spectrum. That means the severity level. As DSM-5 says, the Diagnostic Statistics Manual, American Association Diagnostic Statistic Manual, 4 was 5 categories of autism, and the 5 DSM manual have merged into a single category, we could say, like single spectrum, rather than perceived developmental childhood, disintegrative, red, Asperger, or autism, autistic disorder. So the 5 categories have been merged into one umbrella. As we all know about this, and the previous 3 traits of impairment, we were looking at 3 traits of impairment, and now was 2 domains is most considered till now. We have revised DSM, updated one, but this basic structural changes were not made, and it still strongly defined that persistent deficits in these areas like social communication, social interaction, restricted repetitive behaviors in the child. And there is the severity aspect. You could see the dimension ratings of severity, that the level 3 category of persons which they need a very substantial support, and the level 2 requires a substantial support, very much substantial, and requires some kind of a support. So as it says, like the spectrum, if we say the spectrum is covering a range of disability. So I would like to say here, like all autism children are not low functioning disability. Children are high functioning could able to do many tasks. Many they have a very good intelligent children as Asperger's, if we say, if they are high functioning autistic children. So the spectrum covers the range. So it from high functioning, some giftedness with among the child, and we have severe level of impairment. So parents get confused sometimes, like some children, I would say, like I have seen a parent who have two child with autism, and were not able, they come under the category of spectrum, but maybe the average intelligence level, having that child, and then another parent who come with a young boy having extreme ability, high intelligence. He has at the early year and significantly progress without having like with the support of parents and the therapist support the child significantly progress, and no delays. And without many examples we could say about the child is he learned language without the support. He learned Hindi with nobody taught him when he was at the first standard, and he used to read even the 12th 10th book. If we give, the comprehension was delayed, but the reading was good, and he could able to grasp some kind of concepts from that reading. So we see the spectrum made us like in a situation to understand the autistic condition of the child. So it varies. As we say that each child is unique and their needs are unique, we say, but the spectrum, if we look at the spectrum, it actually that interest, ability, everything varies among the children with autistic spectrum, children with autism. The next one. So I care to say, like, different skills develop at different space. Yes, autistic children, we look at children, they are not, they looks normal, like hidden disability. Autism is a hidden disability. They look normal, but if you see the child level of progress in areas of development varies. One area the child is very good at it. Some children have good at physical, some children have good at language, and we see the other areas of communication, emotion, social, maybe the child still not made such progress. So autism results in a qualitative impairments, if we say, like, therefore the different skills are developed with children with that different space, different speed, but it is not that the child have not developed that. Sometimes we look at what is present with the child. We look at what the child is not performing. Yes, we look at the skills of the child, and the child, they develop different pace of time. In my, like, I have seen a child who started speaking after 13 years. Like, the mother was talking to the child from the early year, and he learned the language but not expressive, non-verbal. So he started speaking after 13 years. So you see, before that the child not able to produce, call mother, family members, and the child slowly started speaking. So this differences with the child. Yeah. So when we talk about the signs of autism, so we look at the weaknesses among the children, what challenges the child has. The child has lot of areas that the child needs to improve. That is our focus. We wanted to improve communication, social challenges, behavioral aspect, and the child has sensory issues, motor, planning, organizational difficulties. The child has short attention plan, not able to focus of 2 tasks at a time. The complexity of the task is difficult for the child to do. Imitation is one area the child cannot able to imitate. However, we suggest for prompting, modeling, reinforcement. These are some best practices that we focus for child to improve. Positive reinforcement and sometimes the negative reinforcement, functional behavioral aspects, structured play. So this all helps the child to improve. But the perspective here I would like to talk about is, we look at the weaknesses of the child. Although the child has the areas, has significant areas to get improved. Yes, it is obviously important, but what actually look at the deficit. So this neurodiversity perspective talks about what we look at, what we are looking at, whether we looking at the deficits or the difference. Yes. So moving ahead, child. The another positive ability, strength and abilities of the child we look at is, the child is honest. The child is always exceptionally honest. So the child you have seen the child the professionals who are working in the field might have observed that the child, they don't lie. They are exceptionally honest. They have deep passion and intense interest. They look at some, if they have an interest, they will they will persistent, consistent to his interest, punctual, and follow a schedule that they, like if suggested a schedule to be followed, they're very punctual, typical to follow, rule-bounded persons, gifted person in one or more subject. Many children. So we have seen children, like if you tell the date of birth, they'll tell the birth, the day when you have born. So that is like all. Autism is always defined as challenge, but there are things that children with autism excel. They are excel in doing. They could able to do tasks. They are excel at doing some task, like this rote memory skills. Autism children have that, and the children with autism disorder can often focus intently and learn a lot about the topics that they are especially interested in. So I have tell you an example. A child with autism, no one taught him about movies, names and anything. By the way, he traveled from a place, Chennai, in Chennai, from the city to, he traveled to Nipmed, Chennai. So by the way he traveled, he seen the posters of the movies, and he could able to write 100 movies. No one taught him. So you see how much they are focused intently to what the interest they have. So building child's interest into challenging activities, that is also important. If you see the child is struggling in some activities, if they are in repeated activities, if you could like motivate the child, providing a positive reinforcement, which could help the child to really do better task. So they have lots of strength and abilities. So coming to the topic of autistic neurodiversity perspective, whether we consider into deficit or difference. So as I describing here, like autistic children, we look at the challenge aspects, but there are things the child perform well. So autistic children can do better task. So what we need to look at. So I'm not saying here like we should not look at the deficit. I mean, we should not look at the deficit. Yes, it is important to look at the deficit, but what difference, that we have to understand the difference. So autistic children is seen as a challenge for families and communities due to comparison. We compare with normal. We compare with, if you take, there is an, I could say, like, let us, we take an example of like ADOS, we have autistic diagnostic scale, that is written like pointing with index finger. So pointing with index finger, this social behavior that we have, like in our countries, that we have pointing with index finger, this is not there in some countries. That is culturally there is difference. So if you see this difference, what we can consider, we consider this as a deficit. Yes, no. So we cannot consider this as a deficit. Yes, this perspective, if we see this like neurodiversity, we understand, if we understand the neurodiversity perspective, because we compare with the norms, that is the typical and atypical development of the children. So also be aware, like each person have the set of strength, challenges. So if the children can do better task when given a visual schedule, visual like pictures, visual search, if the child can do better task when given visual search, so you see the child have distinct strength and challenges. So looking the child on the perspective of deficit, so for which this HOF 2013, this is a concept which make us to clearly understand the approach, what the practical approach, the pragmatic approach, in real life approach that we might need to look at it. Like this calls us pragmatic approach. COF calls us pragmatic approach. This means like the difference is considered as deficit in need of remediation. If it is required of remediation, we consider the difference as deficit. So in the child has to this area of daily living skills, bathing, brushing. So this difference in need of remediation, so it must be considered for remediation with some behavioral interventions, educational interventions. So if the two criteria, if we see the two criteria, like if there are meaningful consequences of the differences, there is a negative consequences of the difference, like it the child do temper tantrums, though it affects the behavior, affects the consequences affects. So in that case, the difference can be targeted for intervention. So several solutions of any differences can be targeted when the child need an appropriate intervention. So for example, we say children with like deaf individuals who use sign language. So we understand the deaf person use the sign language. They need to communicate. So for the communication, they use sign language. So due to the complexity, it was considered as a deficit perspective. Now, the reasonable accommodation, accessibility, we talk about these aspects, considering the importance. Now, the thing is, the problem is not with the child. The social model of disability says, so it is with the society. So we are not able to provide an accessible language. So if we consider in that perspective, the difference is acceptable. The difference is not considered as deficit. So no more it is not considered as deficit. So deficit versus difference. The conventional behavior management techniques may not work with the child. If the conventional behavior techniques may not work with the child, so if the child have poor abilities, inability to respond, answer, so the areas, if we see, they are detailed learners. So they see the part, but they perceive the whole. So this aspect is the difference that the child have. The previous one, the poor verbal ability, is the deficit. So difficulty in adapting to language use at the home when it is different from one used in school. So this is difference. Yes, that the child has difficulty in adapting the language which used at home, but which is used in school. So this is a difference. Understanding of abstract concept and the languages, figurative languages. This is abstract for the child, this is difficult for the child, and this is difference. It is not deficit. So the deficit and differences. See, this here is the viewpoint. The viewpoint, what we look at the child. If we say eye contact is considered as desire, yes, motivation. So I am not having a motivation to interact with someone. So it is viewed, what we can view we can view it as a deficit or difference. Okay, so it is possible, we need to understand this aspect. We need to consider the DSM-5, which also say like cultural and contextual factors when diagnosing ASD, that is need to be more considered. So this includes like recognizing how cultural differences can affect the presentation of symptoms, access to diagnosis. So it is important to understand that. So whether it is a deficit or difference, that could be important when we considered about understanding the child, and further we plan for an intervention for the child. Neurodiversity perspective or neurodiversity model, what does it actually mean? It talks about, it's emerged from 1990s by a person, Judy Sinner, by a person. It has been emerged in 1990s. So it discusses about the acceptance and inclusion of disability of autism as a natural part of human variation. So by this word, it says like the diversity parts, multiple diversity parts in autism persons. So the acceptance aspect, if you look at the person with the perspective of it is a human condition, human variation, so we are able to accept the child when it is deficit. Yeah, that is need to be considered, but understanding, having the acceptance and inclusion is more important, because it is not as the first presentation I was explaining about it, is parents cannot be blamed on this aspect. It is not because of the parenting style, because of that the child is not getting the disabilities. It's absolutely a myth. So neurodiversity model, which talks about, like, it advocates about non-judgmental language, as we have person first language we use, person with autism. So in this aspect also we say person is first. So understanding the person first, his difference first, right? So instead of developing adapting skills that could help, parents and professionals should know this, whether this adaptive skills is considered as a deficit or a difference, because deficit skills need to be focused for remediation, but the difference has to be not we want the child to progress in a way the child complete his attain his independent living skills, getting an employment, supportive employment if requires. So there are so much priorities in the life of the child to maintain a quality in the life of the child. So in that aspect, if we see, so developing adaptive skills which could help, but we should know about it like a deficit or the difference. So because they understand autism is a part of human or child's identity. So difference is helpful for acceptance and accommodations. We think about the identity of the child, valuing the child. Each individual, each person is worthy here. So the acceptance and accommodation. See, if I get an understanding about the neurodevelopment perspective, neurodiversity perspective, I will not my view of point will be broadened. I will not more stressful on looking at the child as a deficit, looking at the child, having a child as a challenge for me and my family's communities. Rather than I accept and I focus on promoting the child for like inclusion, and I support the child for getting a reasonable accommodation. So that I also value the child, and valuing the child will protect the dignity of the child. Respect is protecting the dignity of the child. On the other hand, deficit should not undermine the values. Yes, definitely. So the areas need to be considered as deficit, and it requires as remediation, and then we definitely should not undermine the aspect, and we should focus at, but looking at the deficit should not undermine the values of the child. It should not deny or affect like the child value part, the child's respect. It should not directly affect the child by looking at the deficit alone, because self-concept and that concern is more important. The sensitive, appropriate, targeted intervention could fulfill this. So we have the practitioners will follow so much of therapies and aspects to make the child to change the behavior. For example, an ABC practitioner, if the child adamant to a particular task, the practitioner will suggest some other thing to reduce the behavior and expecting the desirable behavior from the child. So the child will given a appropriate way, the technique to respond. Guys, how I can ask about this, how I can ask the favorite toy or favorite snacks or whatever, how I can ask the child, get an appropriate way, like you can tap, you will get the appropriate, rather than showing this temper tantrums, rather than doing an undesirable behavior. So this makes the perspective change. Yeah, and finally, I would like to tell that the perspective recognize more positively as an identity to understand the self-esteem of the child, different kinds of self-esteem of the child. It protect the mental conditions of the child. The child has to go like the child become adult, the child will get a financial, like may get employed and get financial support. The child will be can be independent, looking at the strength and the abilities of the child, not just looking at the deficits of the child. So this implies that accepting the identity and providing a necessary therapeutic supports, whatever the therapeutic supports could help them to get a good quality of life, that is important. So as teachers, because many times the teachers and parents and therapists, if we look at how this child could able to perform this level of could able to perform this only, if the child even get more interested, more focused in a one particular task, and having a good like a knowledge or good savant abilities, if the child has in a music or any task, so looking at that point as not as a deficit, and making understanding the difference and supporting, encouraging the child to participate. Many parents now put the child to engage in a behavior, engage in activities, so that they can they'll not be more prone to behavioral issues the child has. So it is important. They put swimming, they put badminton, these classes for the child to get more engaged, understanding the difference. So not considering as a deficit, like, yes, the child will do this of behavioral issues. So we like rather not looking at that behavior. So it happens like not engagement is happened, and because of less engagement, the child makes so much of like undesirable behaviors. So that again, we look at the deficits of the child. Again, we wanted to improve, or we wanted to reduce that behavior. We wanted to improve the child, looking at that again and again. So giving a good perspective which makes sense, giving that, having a good neurodiversity perspective which makes sense of understanding the child's differences, and taking it a lead to encourage the child, positively reinforce the child. That is more important. Actually, so many therapies, so many different tasks that we do with the child, prompting, task analysis, or functional behavioral aspect, reinforcement, positive, whenever, whatever we want. So look at the deficit and the difference and the priority goal that we set, which is important, that we can support the child. Teachers, parents, and therapists must also know about this perspective, considering the inclusion, because today the speaker was explaining about schools were denying, many schools were denying about giving admission to autistic children. It is important because the perspective makes the difference, because we look, we project, we like show the child's what all the challenging behaviors that the child have. We pointed out the challenging behaviors. So looking at the strength, making a like talking about this neurodiversity perspective can influence the buddy circles in schools, peers in schools, that can give a positive environment for the child, supportive environment the child. We can create an inclusion in the society. So with this I conclude, and thank you very much for the opportunity. So thank you, ma'am, for having me here. I'm happy to be part of the national seminar, and thank you very much. And if anybody wants to have like ask the questions, yeah, you are, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Revati. I have attended your sessions multiple times, and I was a part of the panel discussion where you spoke, and I got connected with you. That
yes, definitely.
Only at the professional level that we connected, but then obviously at the mental level as well. Because you are not only working it, you are not even taking it as a profession, you are putting your heart and soul in it, and I have seen it through my own eyes. So that's the reason whatever you speak, it holds a lot of importance, because you're giving your soul to it. So thank you so much for enlightening all of us and being a part of this platform.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words and the appreciations I got. Like, yeah, definitely professionals who are working in the field must be so like empathetic, or like so sensitive towards responsibility should be there among the professionals. I hope all the participants over here, I wish you a very happy learning today from the seminar. Take key messages and try to practice, or like everything is a thought process that we need to make. Whatever we take it from here. We need to search, and we need to do our own research to understand it in a better way. That would help us. So thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Over
so
to
much
you, Sneha.
for enlightening us on the neurodiversity perspective. Thank you so much for your time. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, who is also our guest of honor, Dr. Nidhi Verma, who is a professor at Amity University, Gurgaon, and also psychologist and clinical hypnotherapist. Ma'am will be enlightening us on a session, Autism in Everyday Context, Education, Family, and in Workplace Challenges. So we welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, everyone. And very good afternoon to all. And I'm very, very thankful to Speakingcube for organizing such a wonderful conference to spread awareness on autism. So just give me a second. I'm just going to upload my PPT to start with. Can you confirm, Sneha, if it is visible to all?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet.
Not yet. So maybe it's taking some time. Is it now?
Not yet, ma'am.
All right. So, but it's showing that it is, I mean, what I can do, let me just try once again. Let me upload once again. So today it's lagging, but let me try. Confirm now, Sneha.
Not yet, ma'am. Maybe you can rejoin again.
So I can do one thing. I can share my PPT to you as well, and let me just try once again, and let me.
Yes, yes. Just please rejoin again.
Yeah. Okay.
In the meantime, one should not get bored, right? So let's talk about Dr. Nidhi. Dr. Nidhi Verma is a professor in Amity University, Gurgaon, and she is an adjunct professor with Southern New Hampshire University, USA. Plus, she has so many Scopus publications on the topics like Bhagavad Gita, spiritual psychology, and artificial intelligence. Not only this, she has also worked with Wim Hans in the initial years of her career, and has got a very, very extremely colorful and high grade CV. So listen to the perspective of these professionals, because we are sitting at this position right now, me with 23 years of experience, Dr. Nidhi with 20 plus years of experience, Anil Jaggi sir with 30 plus of years of experience, Dr. Brits with 35 plus years of experience. These people have been working with the United Nations, UNESCO, UNDP, and it's not that we all are from special education. My field is cognitive psychology. Dr. Nidhi's field is again social psychology and artificial intelligence, right? Dr. Revati's field is special education. Dr. Tamanna's field is developmental psychology. Dr. Jaggi's field is information technology and artificial intelligence. See, but everybody is talking about, and Dr. Britt's field is actually chemistry and social awareness. And in social awareness, he has been working on autism for quite a long period of time. Same goes to Dr. Jaggi. So why these people are working towards a special cause? Because this cause is very, very important. It is increasing day by day. It needs to be talked about. Not only being the special educator, you should be aware about it, but then you need to be aware because you do not know whom you are going to take care of. So I'll share one experience of mine wherein a mother from USA, she came to me for counseling and said that I'm very depressed because my child is he is a very high functioning child. He's very intelligent. He does his work quickly, but then in US system is very strict. So in a way he bullies the kids, right? And he was a 4.5-year. Was an online session. I said, okay, and this is the reason I am very pressed and stressed, because I keep on hearing a lot of complaints from the teachers in the play school. Then I said, okay, I want to see the child. The child had a good interaction, but yes, there were certain social cues that he was not aware of. He never responded to those social cues nicely or aptly. I should not say nicely, but aptly. So, and I thought, okay, this kid needs to be evaluated, but the kid was highly intelligent. So I told her, see, this is what you are right now probably thinking that the child is not good enough. The child is very naughty. The child is a troublesome child. So do not take it that way. And she said, okay, in US, it is very difficult to get the appointment from the special educators and the psychologist. I have to wait for so many months. Then I said, okay, you are an Indian, you can always come down to India and get it done. She came down to India and got him checked from the pediatric developmental pediatrician, right? And the child was a case of mild autism. If I would not have pointed that case, but even if it was a case of mild autism, but the child was high functioning child. The IQ was 136. And then the developmental pediatrician said the kind of parenting you are giving, it needs to be changed. It needs to be special because a child belongs to a category of special children. Now you people might be aware that most of the autistic children, their intelligence is high, right? And out of 60 to 70%, approximately 0.5 to 2%, they belong to the category of a 30 plus, right? So that needs to be, now how will you be able to understand that? Even if tomorrow you'll think about becoming a clinical psychologist or maybe social psychologist, maybe organization psychologist, but you need to have such information because this is related to our own field so that you can diagnose. Now, the moment the child was diagnosed, we started the occupational therapy, and side by side, I started counseling of mother, and I started counseling with REBT, and she started accepting herself as well as a situation. And now, within no period of time, within a period of 4 to 5 months, she was out of the mental state she was in right at that point in time. Moral of the story is, obviously, I'm on the other side of taking care of the parents, right? Maybe you are taking care of the kids, but everything is important. So we need to provide, we should be able to provide a holistic care, and we can provide only if we have that knowledge, only if we are passionate about it. Okay. So this is a kind of my own experience that I've shared with you. So Dr. Nidhi has joined. Sneha, Dr.
Yes.
Nidhi has joined.
Yes, I think ma'am has joined. Abhi screen share bhi kari thi.
Okay. Over to you, Dr. Nidhi, please.
Am I
Ma'am, we
audible?
can't. Yes, yes, now you are.
And the PPT is visible?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I'm very sorry for the glitch. So
No
very
issue.
quickly, let's talk about autism in everyday context, education, family and workplace challenges. So yeah, we have less time, so I would like to quickly share some important information. So first of all, I'll be talking about data related to autism, Then role of education, key organizations and initiatives, role of families, as you all have seen in the previous PPT. It's a huge responsibility of families. Workplace challenges, how we can overcome, and some notable personalities with autism, right? So very quickly, before we jump and to data, we need to understand that it's a neurodevelopmental condition affecting communication, social interaction, and sensory processing. But there is no problem in IQ level, as ma'am was also sharing with you. They're having exceptionally, high IQ and very good in other things. But the only problem lies with communication, social interaction, sensory processing, and each child is different. That is very important for us to understand so that we can cater the needs of autistic child. So anyways, let's talk about data. It's very important for us to understand what is the data in India. The data is as per 2025. So the prevalence rate, which is an estimate, is now 1 in 68 children or 1 in 100 children are under 10 years are being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So in all the families, in every next family we can find at least one child having who is autistic, right? And total affected population is roughly 18 million people in India are estimated to have autism spectrum disorder. And research also indicates a steady increase in autism, which requires improvised diagnostic infrastructure, early intervention services. That is very important. Then we talk about regional differences. It's very important for us to understand what are the regional variations. The regional variations as per the data is that higher identification rates are found in urban areas as compared to rural or tribal areas. So the parents are not very well aware, they do not have much information, knowledge about autism and the symptoms related to that. As a result, there is, a late diagnosis, which is very serious. Then gender disparity. Gender disparity, boys are significantly more likely to be diagnosed with autism than in girls. But it doesn't mean that girls are not, having autism. The only problem is that in certain Asian societies, specifically if you talk about rural population in India, females are found, if they are not interacting much, they're found to be okay. And then that is, they are, as per the norms, it is considered absolutely okay, but they are diagnosed quite late. That is very serious issue. Yeah. So this is our data of SARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. You can just check out the data from 2000, till 2022. What is the rise in, identification and diagnosis of autism? In 2000, it was 1:150. The same was in 2002, and it kept on increasing. And you can see in 2022, the ratio is 1:31. See, and it's quite serious also. But we need to be aware how much it is increasing so that the information should be spread. And we all can develop certain strategies how to deal with that. How can we improvise their overall well-being? Then there is another data from Center for Disease Control and Prevention. It is a data again of 2025. This data was released from the Autism and Developmental Disabilities Monitoring Network, which reports that about 1 in 31 and under 8-year-old children in the US were identified with autism spectrum disorder, right? So yeah, and then this is a very serious concern, and we all must be aware about how can we deal with autistic child, because they are no less in potential, no less in IQ. Only some management, and coping is required. Now, to for a positive beginning, how can we address this challenge? So we need to understand how can we develop their communication problems, what are the challenges they address, and how can we what are the challenges they face, and how can we address these challenges in day-to-day lives, and positive, how can we improvise positive behavior, interventions, and support systems, which we have to do by having a combined approach from the therapist, schools, and the families. Families have a significant role. So it's very important for us to educate parents and educate teachers as well, right? So, anyways, have a look at this. There is ample support and resources which are available for autistic child, but not all are aware about it. So there are early intervention and programs for infants and children, and they cater for the needs for speech therapy, sensory integration therapy, some physical exercises therapy, hearing impairment services, family trainings are there, social skills trainings are being taught here. Then some schools and student care centers are also available, like where they provide some special education services for such children. Then speech services, some behavioral challenges are addressed here. Adult homes are also there. Not all are aware, I think so. So they are taught for daily living skills, communal living skills, emotional, how to manage their behavior. So these are the services which are already there, but it is very important for us to educate and spread awareness on these resources which are available. Now, when we talk about role of education, so as you all have seen in the previous talks also, early intervention is the best strategy. There is a role of parents to identify, the symptoms as early as possible. So early identification leads to better planning, better intervention plans. All right. And for that, a lot of therapy centers are there, which provides appropriate therapy depending upon the need of the autistic child, whether the child is mild, moderate, or severe. So these therapy centers are there. We just need to identify their services, specific services, which is applicable for our own child. One of the therapy is applied behavior analysis, which is being used commonly to improve social communication and learning skills in individuals. And it's very important to provide positive reinforcement to the children to encourage beneficial behavior and to reduce harmful behavior and to make them independent. So these are the 4 ways where ABA can help children with autism. It helps in improving social skills. It helps in improving effective and parenting skills. It helps in improvising life skills and encourage independence. And overall, it helps in improvising, enhancing quality of life, right? So when we talk about school education, these are certain key elements for a successful education of autistic child. Like for each child, depending upon the the severity level, depending upon the need, there is a specialized curriculum and teaching method should be designed. Then there has to be a coordinated team approach and parental involvement needs to be there. Parents should know the progress of a child and what are the important strategies the parent should be taken into consideration. And similarly, parents, because they deal with a child in day-to-day whole process of life, they can also suggest teachers. These are the strategies where the child is doing optimum or doing good. Then structured and modified learning environments needs to be there. Support services for students and families must be there. Then recurrent evaluation of inclusion procedures. What are the progress reports that needs to be repeatedly taken into consideration. Then classroom and social support system, and having a positive attitude for autistic children. And there has to be a collaboration, of course, along with the school and home. So home and school, they cannot work separately. They have to collaborate to have a best strategies which is suitable for our autistic child. So yeah, these are certain key elements. And then whatever we have covered here, we can very well check it out from this, that in schools, separate sensory rooms, quiet rooms should be there, which are low stimulus, so that certain such students, they can have some time over there. All right. Then training of all staff is necessary. For that, teachers they have to take some initiatives, and they have to collab with psychologists and therapists to organize certain workshops for spreading awareness and knowledge to teachers, and not only teachers, to all the management and staff. All right. And whole school inclusion policy must be there, which explicitly values neurodiversity, which discourages exclusionary practices. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm thirsty, and right now I'm not having any water. Anyways, and it promotes respectful attitudes among peers and staff. Right. So school inclusion policy must be there. Right. Whole school inclusion policy is there, and some of the schools are definitely following these. Then structured, visual, and individualized teaching must be there. Visual schedules, clear routines, concrete instructions should be provided to autistic child, which definitely helps in reducing anxiety and improvising their task behavior. Then it is also very important to develop individualized educational plans, and that must be developed in the consultation with the parents. That is very important, because parents, they do know each and every behavior of a child. They must be included in developing individualized educational plans. So teachers and parents, they have to, and therapists, teachers, parents, they must have to address it all together. They have to work combinedly. Then support social communication and peer relationship. So for that, peers, because when we are spreading this information must reach to the students as well. It should not be only till the teachers. It has to be spread in such a way that peers should also know what kind of environment they are supposed to provide to the autistic child, what kind of support system they can provide. So peer-mediated or social skills programs, where neurotypical classmates, they are taught to model, support, and include autistic peers in group activities. So this is definitely going to help a child to gain some confidence. Also, never isolate autistic students with only one aid. All must have an alternative support system to cater the autistic child, right? So these, are certain, strategies which we can do with the help of teachers and parents. Then have a look at this positive behavior and sensory support system. I just need to wind up, because I know that we are getting late, but very quickly I'm going to wind up. So have a look at this positive behavior and sensory support system. How can we provide this for adults and children? So there has to be individualized focused assessments and interventions, as I have discussed earlier also. Then specific services needs to be addressed, and which leads to overall enhanced quality of life, not only for the autistic child, but for the organizations as well as for the families. So these are the 3 steps which how we can provide positive behavior. Again, these are certain things which I have already addressed. So we have to provide positive reinforcement. We must not be having punitive, approaches, not at all. Then schools must have to maintain regular, respectful communication with parents about the child's progress. This is very important for schools to, provide all the information about the progress of a child. Similarly, there is a role of the parents to provide all the necessary information about the child's progress to the teachers or to the therapist, so that combinedly it can be, work for the betterment of autistic child. Then involving families in setting individualized educational goal, as I said earlier, training workshops for parents must be conducted by therapists, So yeah, so that they should not, parents, they also have to take care of their own mental health. And they also deal with a lot of problems. They also have to be extra careful, and they have to be having a lot of patience in dealing with autistic child. And that is why, time to time training workshops must be there, so that the child, and so that the parents must, feel empowered rather than feeling overwhelmed. So yeah, this is very important, because when we talk about autism, the whole focus is on autistic child and its, well-being. But it's very important for all of us to, educate the parents, so that, they should also not feel overwhelmed. They should also not feel exhausted. And there has to be some certain counseling sessions and certain training workshops, so that they can also deal with their stresses. Then these are certain key organizations and their initiatives which are being taken. The first is Action for Autism, which offers specialized programs like the AACAR, which is Early Intervention Program and Parent-Child Training. Then Samagra Shiksha, it provides support for identifying, assessing, and providing remedial teaching to children with special needs. Also, there is a national trust which supports capacity building programs for special schools. So these are certain, organizations. There are many other also, but I thought I should be, trying to tell you few only, and rest there are many others also who are working and doing very good to deal with autism. Then when we talk about workplace challenges, the challenges are same. And we have to devise certain strategies to deal and to get maximum, output from autistic, adult. All right. You can see we can provide a quieter work space. We can offer noise cancellation headphones. We can allow flexible use of break rooms, and so that neurodivergent workers perform best of their ability. Right. And then flexible work schedule can be designed for them, and communication and supervision. It's very important to supply written instructions and summaries rather than just, speaking and just relying on whatever we have communicated verbally. Also, it is very important to send feedback in writing also. And it's very important to avoid sarcasm, metaphors, vague expectations. We need to use clear literal language in order so that they can, clearly understand the expectations from them. Also, it's very important to assign a mentor, or a job coach to help with, adjusting and adapting themselves in the social environment of any organization. So these are certain steps which we can take. All right. And very important, as we are talking about spreading information, it does not only limited to providing or spreading information to schools, colleges, universities, but even multinational companies, organizations, their managers needs to be trained. All right. So yeah, the most effective approach is individualized negotiation, where autistic employees as well as employers, they work together to identify what helps more, what hinders, and what are the small changes which can be done to make them feel more adjusted and to get the better output from autistic adults. Now, these are the extraordinary examples, the performance from autistic individuals. Albert Einstein, we all are very well aware about the contribution, Elon Musk, and not many Indian parents I have seen, they are providing, information about autism, how to deal with the autistic child through the social media. And I do not remember the name, but there is one lady who is, sharing the information, how the autistic child is, learning singing, how the autistic child is performing in cooking, and so on. So these are certain names. Some Indian names are Pranav Bakshi. He is India's first male autistic model. He has worked for Lakme Fashion Week and is represented by Ninja's Model Management. Then there is another, girl, Aditi, and she is a neurodivergent creator who produces content that is both personal, political, which focuses on the experience, on her experience of autism spectrum disorder. She uses this platform to educate followers on daily life. As I said, there are many other mothers who are creating content to educate parents. So I have seen so many autistic children. They are having exceptional IQs. They are performing good, and you can see not many examples are there. So yeah, that is all, and we all have to together work for the enhancing the overall well-being of autistic child. And yeah, that's all from my side. And thank you everyone for listening me patiently. I was trying to complete it as quickly as possible because of the time. And yeah, that's all from my side. So together, I believe Deepika ma'am is doing wonderful job to spread awareness. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am, for your insightful session. And if in one sentence I have to wind the whole presentation, is respect, inclusivity, and neurodiversity.
Yeah.
Spread awareness as much as you can. So that's the only thing we can do at our end, and it is going to make a huge difference. Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am, for a wonderful presentation. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. And as you said that, many parents are taking over Instagram and social media and making content about the awareness. So I think स्पेशल एजुकेशन के बारे में उससे अच्छा कौन समझा सकता है जो कि खुद एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है और जो कि स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स हैं. सो विद दैट आर द नेक्स्ट सेशन इज ऑन द इंटरेक्शन विद द पेरेंट ऑफ अ स्पेशल किड. सो आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट मिस पीहू तनवर to share her story and what the journey has been like for you, the challenges you have faced along the way, and how you have worked through them. So we will hear her story and her insights on what helped her cope and adapt, and it can be very meaningful for other parents. And if you are comfortable, you could also share a few thoughts on, how parents can support themselves and what is the importance of such awareness programs. हम इतने सारे awareness programs करवा रहे हैं autism पर. This is the autism month. So what is the importance of this? Are these helpful for the other audience जिनको नहीं पता कि special education क्या है? So I would like to invite Miss Pihu to please share her story.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hi everybody. And first of all, I want to like to thanks to Deepika ma'am for organizing this seminar, especially to the parents. So I want to tell about my journey, and the initial journey of, I think, almost for the parents is same, I believe. It's only takes a different turn when the things are not done as per they should be done. And I think it is because of the lack of the awareness. So I'll be very short in my journey. So my son is 7 years right now, and I got to know my son's condition due to on a very regular visit to the pediatric. And thankfully, he was just 2 years that time. But still, that doesn't work because same thing, lack of awareness. I didn't know that even the word of that autism. So obviously, I got a shock, went into depression, and the time you people say the golden period or the the early intervention time, it got wasted at that time because I never knew what this thing is. And the bad part is that we were in small city. I joined late, and I was hearing all the doctors and all. So the points like people are still unaware in the small cities. Even in the big city also, right now I'm staying in a big city, but still people are very unaware. And it is like, I'm very amazed that I'm into with the parents like who have kids of 23 years of age, of 22 years of age, and the kids who have like 6 years of age. But still, whenever I ask them, they say the same thing, that they heard that word for the first time. that means when ma'am was, describing the statistics, that in whatever year in the still 2023, the statistics are increasing, but still the awareness is not, according to the same pace. So the thing are going in the same way. So I think that these kind of awareness things should be uh, happen in a more constant and in a widespread way. Okay, so again, the so my time got wasted in that period. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर मुझे जो नॉलेज है, जो मुझे आज है, जो अवेयरनेस है, अगर वो मुझे उस टाइम होती तो मेरा टाइम शायद वेस्ट नहीं होता. मैं वो बेटर तरीके से अपने बेटे के लिए जो आज कर पा रही हूँ वो मैं तब कर पाती. एंड उसका सिर्फ मेन मेजर रीजन ही यही है कि lack of awareness, and not in just I would say in a two way. Awareness in, like, people still doesn't know the exact meaning of autism. So जब पेरेंट्स को इफेक्ट हो रहा है, either they know it or the people like you who have this psychology. I'm talking about the layman, right? The normal people still doesn't know, still doesn't aware of this thing. So till the time awareness जो है इस उस पे नहीं आएगी, तब तक मुझे लगता है कि पेरेंट्स भी उस तरीके से काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. एंड द सेकेंड अवेयरनेस इज द सोसाइटी and the schools. I think in my, if anybody asks me what should be done in this field, so there should be a compulsory counseling to the parents. Like after the adoption, there is, I think, a compulsory counseling to the parents, right? So I think from the government, I don't know from which field, there should be a compulsory counseling to the parents, where parents should be counseled ki how to handle and deal, because they are unaware, they don't know what to do with their child. So I, और मुझे यहाँ आके ये भी पता चला कि है भी, मतलब there are so many institute and places, but we still are unaware. I'm sitting here, only then I'm come to know that there are schemes also, and there are, these places also. But the point is that कि unawareness का ही एक issue है शायद से, इसीलिए ये problem है ज़्यादा. So this is my way, and yeah, we face so many issues, and the major issue is social interaction. People, even the society is still not, that they're still not ready to accept. I think obviously not because of choice, because they are also unaware. They still treat it like a disease or some, they doesn't understand this is a condition, how to deal with it. So this is the thing, and मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा important ये है कि parents, we have to get dependent on the special education system, but till the time parents जब तक नहीं aware होंगे और parents जब तक empowered नहीं होंगे, because special educators के पास आप सिर्फ अपने बच्चे को 1 घंटा 2 घंटा भेज सकते हैं, but throughout the day the child is with you, so you need to know that what to do with your child, and that is what called empowerment is. एंड मुझे भी ये फील होता है अपने बेटे के साथ काम करते, जब तक मैंने उसके साथ काम करना नहीं शुरू किया तो तब तक रिजल्ट्स भी आना नहीं शुरू हुए. और वी नीड सपोर्ट, बट यस, वी नीड मोर ऑफ नॉलेज, and there should be some courses, some small courses which I know there are, but still वही awareness की कमी है, तो parents को आज भी नहीं पता, and बहुत limited है. एक तो ma'am was talking about the autism or action for autism. So even I went there also, but there were very limited seats, and they were saying that there are long waiting because I think teachers are very less and जगह कम है अभी भी. तो मुझे लगता है ये भी शायद increase होना चाहिए, so that parents should go there and learn how to do this thing. तो awareness की ही कमी है इसीलिए, because बच्चे तो कुछ ना कुछ कर ही लेंगे, I'm sure. अगर उनको उनके चाइल्ड स्पेसिफिक तरीके से सिखाएंगे तो दे विल श्योरली डू समथिंग, until unless पेरेंट्स जब तक एम्पावर्ड या एजुकेटेड नहीं होंगे इसके लिए. और वो इसलिए भी नहीं हो पा रहे हैं क्योंकि पहली बात तो शायद उनको पता ही नहीं है एग्जैक्टली ये होता क्या है. जितना टाइम लगना चाहिए था वो वेस्ट हो जाता है, in acceptance, and sometime people got into shame also. Thankfully I was not, but डिप्रेशन में चली जाती है, स्पेशली मदर्स चली जाती हैं। तो उस टाइम, वो टाइम बहुत ही ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट होता है उस पेरेंट को। मतलब जितना हम काम बच्चे के लिए सोच रहे हैं कि अर्ली इंटरवेंशन में करें, आई थिंक उस टाइम पे अगर पेरेंट्स को उतना नॉलेज हो जाए तो द थिंग कैन बी डन इन मच बेटर वे। दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू टेल, दिस इज व्हाट माय व्यू।
पीहू, मुझे आपसे एक बात ये पूछनी है कि एज अ मदर आपने क्या फेस किया था, आपका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन क्या था जब आपको पता चला था कि आपका बच्चे को माइल्ड ऑटिज्म है? तो क्या रिएक्शन था आपका?
रिएक्शन मैम, मेरे को तो ऑटिज्म वर्ड पता ही नहीं था। जैसे ही द डॉक्टर सेड आई योर चाइल्ड माइट हैव ऑटिज्म, सो फॉर मी इट वाज लाइक इफ यू रियली वांट टू नो, आई वाज ड्रीमिंग एंड आई वाज इमेजिनिंग द मूवी सीन ऑफ तारे जमीन पे, यू नो दैट वी डोंट नो व्हाट ऑटिज्म मीन। आई थॉट लाइक इट इज समथिंग लाइक उसमें जैसे दिखाया, उसमें तो अब तो मुझे आई नो एवरीथिंग, सीपी अलग होता है, डाउन सिंड्रोम अलग है, बट आई थॉट लाइक माय चाइल्ड इज समथिंग यू नो लाइक दैट। सो आई मतलब द टर्म विच वी यूज ना कि पैरों तले जमीन निकल जाती है, आई फेल्ट दैट थिंग दैट डे एंड आई लिटरली वेंट टू डिप्रेशन। एंड द डिप्रेशन टाइम बहुत ज्यादा हो गया था बिकॉज अनअवेयरनेस थी, स्मॉल सिटी में थे एंड माई बैड वॉज कोरोना हैपेंड, सो ऑब्वियसली वो भी नहीं हो पाया। तो वो जो टाइम था ना, वो इसी में निकल गया, डिप्रेशन स्टेज में निकल गया मैम। बहुत मुश्किल हुआ उससे बाहर आना। शायद अगर थोड़ी सी भी अवेयरनेस होती है, थोड़ा सा भी सपोर्ट मिलता, तो वो जो टाइम था ना, अगर वो कम हो जाता तो शायद बहुत कुछ अच्छा हो पाता। अभी भी अब तो हो ही रहा है, बिकॉज सेम थिंग कि उस टाइम जब वो शौक लगा ना मैम, उस शौक से निकलना बहुत मुश्किल था एज अ मदर स्पेशली। और हम उसमें आ जाते हैं, एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं होती, वाई वाले उसमें आ जाते हैं कि मेरे साथ ही क्यों हो गया, ये क्या हो गया, मेरे बच्चे के साथ नहीं क्यों हो गया। सो दैट इज द थिंग, वो एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहा हमारा दिमाग की क्या करना, तो दूर की बात है, पहले हम एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं कि ये हो गया। फिर कुछ टाइम कुछ पेरेंट्स, आई वुड नॉट से कि शेम, बट यस थोड़ा टाइम मेरे अंदर भी आया कि क्या मैं अभी ये बोलूं भी कि नहीं बोलूं किसी को कि दिस इज द थिंग, विल दे अंडरस्टैंड और नॉट, ये कोई समझ पाएगा भी, क्योंकि आप हर एक को समझा भी नहीं सकते ना उस चीज को उस तरीके से। तो ये एक पॉइंट था, बट स्टिल शेम वाला टाइम मेरे लिए बहुत ज्यादा नहीं निकला। नाउ तो आई प्राउडली से, मतलब not that ki I'll go to the person, I'll say ki my child have autism, but I tell it like very normal way. It is very normal to me, it is not, it should be normal to other people also, but till the time we will not accept it as a normal, so हम दूसरे से भी accept नहीं कर सकते ना कि वो normally accept करेगा इसको। And that and even with the society also, why, मतलब मैं ऐसा नहीं लेती कि वो किसी और, क्योंकि उनको भी इतनी अवेयरनेस नहीं है। इवन द स्कूल्स ऑल्सो, द टीचर्स, they still, if you got a good teacher who is open minded, who is like acceptable, then it is okay, you're fine. But if the same person is not accept, like I face issues in the schools also, right? Though I've opted for the homeschooling now, he have done his LKG, he have done his UKG, it is time for him to get in the first class. But I think with my own intuition and with my own feeling, I want to continue with the homeschooling, not because of that, because school was I think the same reason. School are, there are inclusive school, but now the things are changing. They are, you know, asking for the shadows, for this and that, because they are also not prepared for this. So there should be a complaint.
Do you think that it sometimes it is, sometimes your I mean parents are not able to afford? Do you think so?
Yes, that is a big issue
And
also.
it is a
Yeah.
big reason that they are not sending their kids to the
But that would
schools.
not be the reason, ma'am, of not sending to the school, because obviously every parent do their best to for their child. School ना भेजे उसका कोई reason नहीं हो सकता. But yes, there is I should not be using the word harassment, but because they are not cooperative, that जितने उस तरीके से होने चाहिए school, उस तरीके से नहीं होता, तो parent every other day they are, you know, feeling harassed, they feeling, and that same harassment comes to the child also. So मेरे केस में ये हुआ कि बार बार वो that loop नहीं टूट रहा था, I'm getting harassed by the school, then I'm, you know, venting out the same thing on my child. So I think in the best benefit of my child, I think that homeschooling is best in my case. But there, I am into like a group of a parent. There are so many parents who have a good experience also. Not like that. I would not say कि हर school ऐसा है. It's depend how other, और financial मैम, yes, फाइनेंशियल अगर आप पूछेंगे तो स्कूल चाहे ना भी, तो स्कूल आप छोटा बड़ा चुन सकते हैं अपने बच्चे के लिए, But yes, the therapies are really very expensive, and और हमको support चाहिए. We cannot do everything by our own, right? हमको support चाहिए ही चाहिए. But वो support भी मैं फिर भी यही कहूँगी till the time, especially the mothers, because mothers are staying with their kids 24 hours, right? तो तब तक जब तक मदर नहीं सीखेंगी, और सीखने के लिए मैम जैसे यू नो माई थिंग राइट, आई वांटेड टू लर्न बट दे यू हैव टू कंप्लीट सम स्पेसिफिक एजुकेशन ऑन दैट. आई थिंक देयर शुड बी सम few small little courses for the parents, so that, and there should be child centric, not that method and all, like I mean थोड़ा education base पे नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो इसमें education इतनी ना होके child centric होता है या method centric होता है. तो कुछ ऐसे courses which the mothers can learn in a very short time, and then they can apply on the child. Yes, financials बहुत होता है मैम, and everybody is not that blessed that they can do as per they want, right?
What do you think where your child has reached on a scale of 10? Because you have worked a lot on your child, and I can see, I'm witnessing you, so that is the reason I know that you are working a lot on your child. And then the schemes and all will be answered by Dr. Riti. We have Dr. Riti from the, so she'll tell you the courses. So how much you rate your child now on a scale of 10?
So the rating question is always very, you know, that rating question is always difficult for me, and I don't put him on a rating. So my child is doing best for me right now. Like, he is a very good swimmer, he's a very good skater, he learned cycle also, and he do all other things, and I put very less pressure on him for academics. And this is, yes, this is one of the things, like because obviously the way we have learned in life कि academics में पहले बच्चे को ABCD सिखा दो, 1 2 3 सिखा दो, the way we do, right? And think हमारे बच्चों के साथ ये system नहीं चलता है. It is very different. So now I put it aside, the academics, but he's still doing good in that. I don't put rating. मैम पूछे मैम ज्यादा हमें काम करना पड़ता है या करें ADL skills पे, क्योंकि my main motive, my first of all, no comparison at all, even with the special kid at all. अब मुझे लगता है कि मेरा लाइफ का फोकस मोटो यही है दैट आई वांट टू मेक हिम इंडिपेंडेंट. और आई थिंक हर स्पेशल पेरेंट का सबसे बड़ा थ्रेट या सबसे बड़ा इशू ये कि हमारे बाद क्या होगा, यही है क्वेश्चन सबसे बड़ा, यही उनका डर है ना, कि हमारे बाद क्या करेंगे. तो उसको हमारे जाने से पहले उस तरीके से मैं उसको इंडिपेंडेंट बना दूं कि वो सब चीजों में, नॉट इन जस्ट लाइक अपने काम वाम कर ले, इन फाइनेंशियल कुछ ऐसा कुछ यू नो anything which he can do, like in a joke he's very handsome, तो मैं तो सोचती कि कुछ और नहीं तो मॉडल ही बन जाएगा. But still I have to teach him, right? Everything I have to teach him. तो on a scale he's doing very good. Speech उसकी अभी भी नहीं है. मेरे को उसने शायद after 6 years he said mom to me. तो 6 साल बाद मैंने उसके मुंह से मम्मा सुना था. Now he's into like need basis, बहुत अच्छी बोलता है, अपनी चीजें बता देता है, and मैं उस पर ज्यादा प्रेशर अब नहीं डालती, because the more you put the pressure on the child, regressions देखे हैं मैंने, so I don't put pressure on him, and he's doing good even without the pressure, whatever he wants to say. तो कुछ कर ही लेगा मैम, प्रेशर नहीं देंगे तो, बट हमें अपना काम करना है, ये है अभी तो ऐसा है.
I think Revati ma'am wants to say something.
Dr. Riti? So
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I would like to,
please go ahead.
Yeah, very like surprising.
Ma'am, your voice is not
Like
audible.
very good to hear Poonam ma'am, her experiences here, the challenges she was.
Yes,
It's audible.
Is it not audible?
Audible.
Hello.
Yeah,
So
now it's
I
audible.
just made a comment on a huge appreciations to Poonam ma'am. बहुत बड़ी सवाल हम पेरेंट्स को ये देख रही है, बहुत बड़ी सवाल को पेरेंट्स संभालते हैं. लाइक सो मच मैडम ने एक्सप्लेन किया, लाइक डेली लाइफ की बहुत प्रायोरिटी है, तो लाइफ स्किल्स की प्रायोरिटी है. यस, सब लोग सब कुछ सीख नहीं सकते, तो लाइफ स्किल बहुत बड़ी प्रायोरिटी है. आपने ये बताया इंडिपेंडेंट स्किल्स, वो बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, बिकॉज एवरीबडी वी डोंट वांट लाइक आवर किड्स टू बी लाइक अ डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, ये वो. इट इज लाइक व्हाट इज प्रैक्टिकल को रियलिटी में देखना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग है. आपने ये सोचा ना, वो बहुत बड़ी बात है. ह्यूज डिफरेंस आपने यहाँ प्लेटफॉर्म पे ना बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस आपने यहाँ पर ला you brought here to discuss. That was very nice. That I used to say, like, therapies that cost very rich disability autism. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very rich disability, but disability is not looking at the race, age, or the the category belongs the person, the family belongs to. And a disability can anybody can get a disability child, rather considering their race or their economic status and so on. So it is important to understand this aspect. Madam was asking who after me will take care of the child. So it is more important, like we must need to train the independent living skills, that the child can take care of himself. And if it is possible, ma'am, आपकी एक siblings होती है आपके घर पे और कोई relatives होती है तो बड़ी strong है, आप उन लोगों को भी सिखा दो. like आप therapy लेके जाओगे, एक दिन बेटा को भेजो therapy से, वो लेके आएंगे, थोड़ा आप empower करेंगे ना, तो बच्चों के साथ जो families में कौन कौन है वो relationship आप ट्रस्ट करते होगा कोई लोग से, आपकी फैमिली पे, अपने परिवार में आपकी किसी के पास आपके ट्रस्ट ज्यादा है, उस लोग को आप थोड़ा एम्पावर करना जरूर होती है. तब आप सोचेंगे अगर मुझे कुछ होगा तो आप मेरा बेटा को डेफिनेटली दूसरा लोग देखेंगे. डेफिनेटली मैम, ये प्रॉमिस है, हम बहुत बिलीव करेंगे. डेफिनेटली सोसाइटी थोड़ा बहुत चेंज हो जाएगा. डेफिनेटली सोसाइटी में थिंक अबाउट दिस काइंड ऑफ सपोर्टिंग. एक लड़की ने ये कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये बात किया था, लाइक मेरे आफ्टर मी मेरा ब्रदर को मैं देखूंगी. किसी ने पूछा लाइक आप शादी करके जाओगे कैसे आप मैनेज करोगे, आप शादी करके दूसरा घर जाओगे तो आप सोचेंगे दे फैमिली विल एक्सेप्ट योर ब्रदर. सो but still she was telling like, as I will definitely take care of my brother. But huge appreciation to the mindset of the girl who take to value, respect the the family and respect, that is hands off to that. So that kind of attitude among all of us should be there, and especially for families, it is not the responsibility of the mother alone. Responsibility, it is the duty sharing responsibility of the family that can help the child and also the family. Ma'am, course के बारे में आपने पूछा, like course तो है, certificate course in caregiving for 6 months course, National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Intellectual Disabilities. उसके साथ अब कोलैबोरेट करके हर नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स में ये कोर्स चल रहा है, CCG करके. हमारी NIPVD देहरादून में भी ये कोर्स है. तो अब 6 महीना कोर्स है. इट इज मेनली लाइक बच्चों के बारे में लाइक बहुत ज्यादा अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना जरूरी है. थोड़ा बहुत हम सीखेंगे ना, हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे हमारी रियलिटी क्या है, क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है बच्चे के. मतलब ऐसा आपने बताया इंडिपेंडेंट स्किल्स तो इम्पोर्टेंट है, तो हम सोच सकते हैं क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो वो आप मतलब जो प्रैक्टिशनर स्पेशली द पेरेंट्स है, ये कोर्स हमें इंट्रोड्यूस करिए ओनली फॉर पेरेंट्स. तो आप कुछ सीखेंगे, लाइक दूसरा पेरेंट्स की बिहेवियर कैसे करेंगे. बहुत सारे टेक्निक्स होती है, बहुत सारे बिहेवियरल एस्पेक्ट्स होती है, और इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट और कंसेशन की रिलेटेड, स्कीम्स की रिलेटेड. हम तो इतना महंगा होती है लाइक वो थेरेपिस्ट की, मतलब आप डेली नहीं दे सकते. हम प्रैक्टिकली हम बोलेंगे हर सेशन को 500 नहीं दे सकते. तो इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट लाइक what is important that we try to like think about the financial aspect, and government is also having insurances, and the scheme is also there to claim for 1 lakh rupees. So this इसके related course में आपको थोड़ा बहुत बताएगा, so that is also helpful. I hope I have added. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Revati. That's why I wanted you to answer the question, because when I was in the panel discussion and you told about the schemes and you told about the caretaking, the certificate for the caretaker, it caught my attention because I was also not aware of it, because I am on the other side. I'm taking care of the parents. I am not into the government schemes. So being a cognitive psychologist myself, I was not aware, and I thought that what I can do is, what SpeakingCube
Yes.
can do is be a bridge to kind of share the knowledge to all the budding psychologists plus the parents who need it. And if we have a special child, there are so many government schemes that can support us in terms of finance, that can support us in terms of education, right, and training. So we should be aware that yes, these kind of things do exist, and I can get the benefit. So Pihu, I hope your two questions have been answered. So you already have the number of Dr. Dhalwal from NIMPET, right? I'll connect you with Dr. Revati as well. And if at all, since you eagerly want to do something in special education, I know that you have discussed with me multiple times that I want to do something in special education. If you will be able to make a difference because you're passionate about it.
Yes, ma'am. I really want to do
What
it.
you have done is not through any course. You have read, and I have been witnessing it for 1 year now, and it is commendable.
But then the same thing, see, because we are not aware, that is why we are not able to do it. But this is what I want, ki more of awareness should be there, especially for the parents. Even before, like, we would not be saying that when every family and get affected by the autism, then only they come to know, then they start working. I think it should be done way beyond that, prior to that, so that we can help, even without having that condition in the like our places.
So right now we are 40 plus at this point in time. So I think we 40 at least are aware of certain schemes which are provided by the government, and we can share even if we pass on to 3 people, we'll be educating 130 people, right? And the chain can increase. So that's all. Pihu, thank you so much for taking out time. I know you have a busy schedule from morning till evening, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for calling me here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pihu ma'am, for coming here today and sharing your insight.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Miss Anupa Carey to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sneha. Am I audible?
You're audible, ma'am. You're audible.
So, respected chief guests, distinguished speakers, researchers, and participants. On behalf of SpeakingCube Online Mental Health Consulting Foundation, I extend our sincere gratitude for making this morning session highly enriching. Special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Anil Jaggi, for his inspiring address. My sincere gratitude to our guests of honor for their valuable insight, and to all the speakers for sharing their valuable knowledge with us. Immense gratitude to Ms. Pihu, mother of a special kid, for sharing her experiences with us. Thank you to all the participants for your active engagement, and to the technical team and organizers for flawless execution. As we conclude this morning session, let us carry forward awareness with action, understanding with empathy. Don't forget our scientific schedule at 2 p.m. Stay connected with the links you have been provided with. And we'll join here again at 3 p.m. for the valedictory session. Thank you so much.